Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to another edition of Airy Sky Rita-Lee's video blog. I'm Airy Sky. If you're new to the channel, hit the like, subscribe, thumbs up button. If you're a comer backer, welcome. I'm setting something up for you all tonight. You see, I would like to make sure that I can manage. See, I got a little thing I got to show you. See? Right there, yeah, I'm programming a computer for Chloe. Yeah, apparently she wants to. How many computers does the woman need? All right, people, today we're going to be talking about prepping. That's right, people, we are going to be talking about prepping. So, as you can see, the preppers are prepping. Actually, we're not talking about prepping. We're going to be talking about election news tonight. And just to be on the same page as you, we're going to be talking about the first two elections came in. That was a real wing-ding of a zing-ding of a zing-ding. You know what? I could always fight. Heck with that. So, because I don't, mouses are getting harder to get a hold of. If anyone wants to donate a mouse, I can run 3 computers at once. Actually, the electric bill would be too high. So, I want to say welcome. New to the channel, hit the like, subscribe, thumbs up button. If you're a comer backer, welcome. So, first of all, let's get to the news tonight. The news is a real wing-ding of a night. First of all, right now, I'll tell you what's going on. In Virginia, 80% of the ballot has been counted. And apparently, as of right now, Abigail Spanberger is the first Democratic female in Virginia. I just got to say congratulations, Governor-elect Spanberger, or is it Spamberger? It must be Spamberger because a lot of people are Span. Okay, S-P-A-N. Spanberger, not spam. I was thinking spam the food. Okay, so a couple things coming out of the pipe tonight. So far, they're still deciding on the Virginia Attorney General. I guess that's not a big one. The Lieutenant Governor is Gonzala Hashami, Democrat. I think it's the first female lieutenant governor. Maybe it's maybe, I don't know. So far, Mike Sherrill is looking to be the New Jersey governor. We'll know more. Proposition 50 in California has been voted on for the next 1 hour and 35 minutes. Currently, there's an 8-point gap in New York. So far, the counts 52 counts. It's going to be a real wing-ding tonight, people. It's going to be a real wing-ding tonight. And I'm telling you, we're here for the election results. And I got a couple things to tell you, but first let me go rinse my glasses real quick, and I'm going to enjoy this tonight. All right. There we go. All right, so first line of business. I was talking to Chloe today, right? Chloe was making a joke about the love. I call her the love, Zoe. Or Chloe was making a joke about Zoe, you know, and it was funny. She's like, if Zoe was around, she thinks Zoe's a Trumper. So, anyways, I got my little glass thing here. See, I'm just gonna clean it. Yeah, my other pair broke. Anyway, so we don't have anything. My adopted brother Ted keeps saying focus. Well, anyway, so tonight is an interesting night. Now, I don't know what happened to my family in Texas. Maybe they had a brain fart and their brain melted. I have no clue, okay? But anyways, let's just say we're having a great, interesting night. I'm not going to say it's great. So Donald Trump turns around, apparently, makes post yesterday. He will comply with the court order for food stamps. But then the judge, the thing is, I said it best myself. The government, literally on food stamps, SNAP benefits, EBT, my adopted brother, he's like, oh yeah, I went and I was checking out at Walmart. He was talking about spending $42 of your tax dollar, by the way, on pre-made sandwiches. I think it was like chicken and turkey and ham on hoagies. I'm sorry, dude, but I don't think I want my money being used for chicken, turkey, and ham hoagies from Walmart. Couldn't you invest in it better? Like, don't know. Something else. Is this a... this will work. Yeah. So, anywho, hold on a second. So, apparently, the computer came with wax paper to protect its screen. Wax paper, not a cloth paper. Anyways, the new one anyways. So, anyways, so the deal is, we are now wondering who's going to be the mayor of New York. Was it going to be Andrew Cuomo? I thought Andrew wasn't bad, all right? Then again, I'm a registered Republican. So Chloe today, she did her ballot. She says, I'm voting blue down the ballot. Everyone's entitled to vote. That's one of the greatest things in democracy is to getting out and voting. Yeah. So our votes, our ballots went out. And let me just say for the record, it was interesting, you know? It was truly interesting. So far, all right, Governor of New Jersey's just been called. It looks like we got Mike Sherrill as governor. Yeah, so let me just say it. I have to type something. All right, sorry about that. My dad's asked me, oh, can you do a video for me too? So, currently, we got it looking at New York's got 60% of the votes in. We're still waiting for the Attorney General of Virginia. And we have 1 hour, 30 minutes until the polls close in California. A lot of people are basically waiting for Proposition 50. And I don't blame them. But at the same time, a lot of people out there are going, what is the future going to be held? Yeah. I mean, for me, people can hear my voice. They're thinking, oh, great, you know. Well, you know, it's an interesting, concept. I mean, literally. I mean, all these people are sitting there, right? And there's a lot of people, like Virginia, apparently. A lot of Virginians, actual Virginia, not West Virginians, but Virginia, you know, the home of General Lee. Yeah, should watch Gods in General sometime. Virginia, they're tired. They literally decided, you know, maybe voting Republican wasn't the best course of action. I mean, think about it. People, tens of thousands of people are sitting there without a paycheck, turning around, and what are they doing? They're basically not doing anything. Let me change my browser for a second because not browser, just check because I'm having an error on one. So here we go. So Virginia said, hey man, we want a female governor and I think it's a female lieutenant governor. So I just want to give a thumbs up and say shout out. I know Sister Pee-wee's going to be like chewing the fingernails tonight. I think Sister Pee-wee's still in California, so she's got a lot to lose in California. But question is, can they literally take both House and the Senate? And frankly, we won't know until next year. But this just may tell us early how the people are doing it. This is basically an early warning shot fired across the bow. And I'm going to tell you something I usually don't say as a registered Republican. All right? I'm proud to be a registered Republican, okay? Of course, even Chloe knows. But Chloe also knows that a proud registered Republican needs to realize that the American people are tired. Oh, I'm having a sparkling water tonight. Yes, I love these. I got some more San Pellegrino coming. This stuff here is called Solstice, so cheers to you all. I told myself tonight I may order a couple bottles of sparkling juice. Yes, can you believe that? I've given up booze. Yeah, and because of it, there's a lot of people that are poor, alcoholics, drug users, are on food stamps. And that's all they rely on is food stamps. Me, I got like, a long time ago, it was like $10, and then it was $14, and then I moved to slowly from 14 to 16 to 18 to 20 to 23, and now it's 24, and it's not even worth it, you know, but what the heck, right? So, tonight we want to talk about the election, right? This is pretty much a warning shot. That's right, you guys are sitting there, you're thinking, a warning shot. Yeah, it's a shot across the bow. And the American people has said, and I quote, Enough is enough. That's right. Enough is enough. And they're saying it in a way. They're saying, look, you're taking away food stamps. Remember what I said. Does the world revolve around food stamps? Does it? Does it really revolve around food stamps? Apparently, as my sister Teddy said, I'm going to put my sister Teddy in here. I'm going to throw in Pee-wee too, just because I love Pee-wee. And I'm going to throw in Sister Zoe. Zoe, you're loved. And Brother Higgins. Brother Higgins is we want Brother Higgins too, and Brother Ted. And yeah, so anyways, bottom line is there's too many freeloading mooches out there in the world. You got food bank? Go to it. You don't have a food bank? Well, that's your problem, not mine, because you can go to a food bank. So currently, we're at 80% of the votes. And yeah, so apparently this hasn't been updated in 10 minutes. Give it some time. So we have to refresh from time to time. Let's just refresh this, right? Let's refresh this. All right, so the governors, yeah. Well, looks like New Jersey's first female Democratic governor has been popped in. So let's just put that in real quick. All right, there we go, people. New Jersey's been called. Wow. I mean, who would have thought that was coming down the pipe? Oh, by the way, is my paper towels in there? Hold on a sec, peeps. We're going to get some paper towels. Paper towels. So, tonight's an interesting night. It's a first shot across the bow. The American people are saying, look, we're voting, and we're voting, and we are voting. Oh, by the way, my adopted brother, what's his name, Mr. Craphead, I'm going to call him Craphead right now. He says, can't do it. Well, let me see. Can I actually go in here? Because he's complaining about, hold on. Can you turn on no? Can you turn no? Can you turn no? Can you turn on 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 no? Okay, let's see if it works because he's complaining about live and how we're supposed to have closed captions. Let's see. Let me check on here real quick because I want to make sure it's set for our deaf people. Yeah, that's right. We need to make sure closed captions on. So let's see settings. Let's see. We got audio. We got, well, what is this? Autoplay is off. Cinema mode. Hold on. See, I'm running this computer to test, and because of it, I just can't figure out the closed captions part, peeps. So that's why there's got to be a setting somewhere. He's like, can you turn it on? Yes. Stable volume, sleep timer, normal, quality. Yes. So, I don't know where it is, guys. Let me see here. It's closed caption. Nope, it says save and report. Alright, well, you know, would someone literally would someone let me know if the closed captioning is working? Because I have no stinking clue. I'm saying I have negative clue, okay? So, anyways, I'm not going to answer that one, but I will have this open. And so, let's just see what's going on. So, frankly, okay, so currently, Virginia's lieutenant governor has been called. So far, Attorney General hasn't been called. Abigail Spanberger, I want to call it Spamburger, is something posing as meat burger, but Span's fine. I can make a little fun. Mike Sherrill has been projected to be the Democratic winner. We still have to be thinking. Also, it looks like Zohan Mamdani is to be the projected winner in New York. All right, people. This is really coming really wild right now. Wild as wild can be. And so I'm hoping... Oh, wait. Someone messaged. What do we got here? First message of the day says, New York is cooked. Reese Lifestyle. Yeah, I've been looking at that too, Reese. Welcome to the channel, my friend. New York is literally cooked. I've been looking at that thinking, oh my God. I mean, literally. But then again, you know, they keep calling him a communist. You know what the definition of a communist and a socialist is? Socialist gives you socialist programs like healthcare and food stamps. As a communist, they just take everything, give it to make it the state's property. And, yeah, well, you know how it is. A lot of people say, but anyways, I've been looking at that, and it looks like New York's cooked, New Jersey's cooked, and Virginia's cooked, but I'm wondering how California is going to fare out tonight, literally. So, as anyone, can someone tell me, is the actual, let me look. Let me turn off, I don't know how to do this. Maybe I could do my phone. Yeah, maybe if my phone's on, it has closed captions set up on it. So, let me just turn this off down. Okay, so, let's go over to YouTube real quick. New York cooked. You know, New York is cooked, peeps. But anyways, okay, here we go. So, are we getting closed caption? Thing is, it should be. Oh, yeah, here we go. So, I am getting closed captions. I'm not getting it on the laptop, though, for some reason. I don't know why, but the phone's getting it, so I guess closed captioning is working for something. So, anywho. Anyways, New York, yeah, I mean, like I said to you all, Reese Lifestyle, welcome to the channel. Thank you. First comment of the day. Basically, the American people literally sat there, as my sister Teddy would say. She would say, you, the American people, you have two choices. Democrat. Hold on a second. Democrat. Left. Republican. And Republican can make things work great. What happened? Well, it goes like this, my friends. First shot of the bow came through. And you know what that bow shot was? I'll tell you. It was, hey, dude, took away our food stamps. We're voting blue today. You're telling us we're not going to get food stamps for the month. And you're saying that the government is shutting down and you don't care about our health care. Well, they're sitting there thumbing their nose going, well, guess what? We're entitled to free health care. We're entitled to our food stamps. And Mr. Reese, I like his name, by the way, Reese Lifestyle. Mr. Lifestyle or Miss Lifestyle, Miss or Miss, some could be Reese for female. Miss or Miss, welcome to the channel again. They're cooked. Literally, my sister was like, they're looking for handouts. Yeah, that's right. They are looking for handouts. They're sitting there going, so the government is failing, and the government is saying, look, you know, you could be a billionaire too if you just basically be a corrupt arsehole, or bunghole, or turd nugget, or crap waffle. Instead, you sit there and you're like, yeah. So all of a sudden, what happens? The American people turn around and say, look, we would like to vote for unfair, unfree, unelections because we want, quote, unquote, here, let's set this to all chat. I like when it goes to live chat. There we go. And what happens? Turns around and says, hey, man, we want, quote, unquote, we want, quote, unquote, free stuff. Yeah, literally. If the government could turn around and offer free stuff for, oh yeah, let me turn this off so I don't have to worry about closed caption because my adopted brother, like me, we both have hearing impairments. Yeah, my hearing over here is feeling pretty full at times. I think a little wax got in there. But if I go to the doctor, you know, we're not going to talk about that, okay? But you hear the bow that's shot. The battleship United States fired a warning shot over the USS America. Let's just say a new America aircraft carrier that's double the size of the Ford, right? Hypothetically. Battleship just fired across the bow, said, look, we have 8, 12, let's just say 16 huge turrets. And they're like, warning shot over the bow saying, hey, 42 million people want their food stamps. We're voting 10,000 plus people in Virginia, maybe even 20,000, maybe even 30,000. I think Virginia has Langley, and, Langley is CIA headquarters, and, other places. And they're like, hey, we may be the home of General Lee, but we're revolting because we need to eat. Well, there's a lot of Americans out there, a lot of Americans, you know what? And they turn around, and I got to tell you the funniest thing in the world, right? My sister and I were talking about this the other day, and it goes like this. The American people turned around, and they see the polls. 63% of Americans disapprove of Donald Trump. Wow. Out of 340 million people, some of them are kids, by the way, so they have to disapprove because mommy and daddy are struggling. You know how it is, right? Now, anyways, what happens? I'll tell you what happens. The American people turn around, and they're like, hey, dude, no more freebies. What happens? Freebies are going down the toilet. Yeah, pretty much. Cheers, by the way. Sparkling water in a can. Interesting. Anyways, we're here for a discussion. So they fired a shot. 63% said, Then we get the secondary poll. How is Donald Trump handling the economy? Apparently 64%. Or no, what was it? 64% or something? 64% disapprove of Donald Trump's handling of the economy. That's 36% of the people approving it. Must be the millionaires and the billionaires because, literally. But that's because, again, Americans believe that that life was better without tariffs. Yeah, can you believe that? I mean, literally. Has anyone ever thought that if you want to get ahead of tariffs, you look for a deal? It's like Chloe. Chloe bought that computer brand spanking new. Brand spanking new, apparently. And, $499 out the door. It's a Dell 16. It's got like 32 gigs of RAM and a 2 terabyte SSD. Brand new. She's like, load up the games. Okay. So, I've been doing that. But, we're not here to talk about computers. We're here to talk about... No, it doesn't have a touchscreen, so... Then she's like, when the games are done, I'll collect in about 3 weeks. Now, can you test it out? Thanksgiving time. Man. That's the other thing. Everyone's worried that if the government doesn't reopen, that they're going to be voting in 2026 saying the Republicans made me vote Democrat because we had a bad Thanksgiving. Gee, I didn't know everything revolved around Thanksgiving dinner, people. I said a lot of people it could happen, but, I said to you guys, they may open up the government this week if the voting shows what they're showing. And literally. I'll tell you what I think's going to happen. I think the government will reopen faster than later. But... come on. My adopted brother is being, he photoshopped a picture. And I'm not going to do that because I don't swear. He swears because, well, he has nothing better to do, okay? So I'm not going to even argue with brother Ted. So let's just refresh. I want to see if there's any updates now. Well, there we go. Right there. It's right there. Zohan Mandani is Virginia's first female as a former CIA officer. Wow. Former first CIA officer. That's quote, unquote. Mr. or Mrs. Reese lifestyle. Yeah, I think New York is cooked. Let's just go through the numbers real quick. So, Attorney General hasn't been counted yet. That's interesting to know. 63% of the votes. They haven't counted the votes yet in New York for actual confirmation. Zoran Mondani is a socialist. He ain't a communist. Yeah, I guess so. And then Pennsylvania Supreme Court. Yes and no. They're still voting. 33%. Pennsylvania Supreme Court. Yes and no. And 33% Pennsylvania Court. Yes and no. And then California Proposition 50 hasn't been voted on. So I want to say this for the record. Do you guys think that, quote unquote, California will be cooked? Possibly. I mean, if you got 40 million people in California alone, they're going to probably 90% of them want their handouts. Yeah. Still getting over a sickness. Anyways, let's just chug some of this. The bottom line, people, is the American people are tired. That's right. They sit there and they're like, our freedom of choice. And, you know, you got these news article guys going out and they're saying stuff like, yeah, America's cooked. The Secretary of Defense says he's going to go and kill any Americans he wants. Really? That's funny. A guy that says that, maybe we should investigate him for saying that. You wouldn't see me saying Americans are going to be going and killing Americans. I mean, come on, man. That is not constitutionally correct. Sorry, I had to pull my pants up. I mean, literally, what do you think? I mean, New York is cooked. Socialists versus communists. If they were communists, man, he'd be giving everything to the state of New York. But thing is, the warning shot was fired across the bow of the biggest carrier in the world. And the Americans are like, look, you want to take away our health care? You want to take away our food stamps? Forget it. Yeah. So what's going to happen? I have a feeling government's going to be reopening by Friday when they find out the American people are pissed. Well, who makes these polls anyway? I mean, they say under the National Security Foreign Affairs polls, it's like 68% of Americans don't approve of war. That's like 32% do, or, you know, handling of the world's economies. I mean, come on, man. I mean, oh, wait a minute. I can't wait to see the government grocery stores in New York. They will be empty. Actually, let me correct you real quick, Reese. Again, you're getting communist with socialism. Socialists, okay, here's how socialists work for some of you that don't know, okay? I've studied communism and socialism. No, I'm not a communist or a socialist, but there's a book out there. You can also, I think it's in my closet right here. I've been looking for it for a while. Anyways, if I find it, I'll let you guys know, but it's a really good book. It's a really good book. Let me see if I can actually find it. If not, well, it's an interesting read. Anyway, look at it. Let's see here. Somewhere in this pile of books is, anyways, it's called, we'll find it later. It's called The Naked Communist. And basically it shows how the United States could go communist. The guy that wrote it was Clausen, and he was third in command of the FBI, okay? Under J. Edgar Hoover. Anyways, the story goes, he wrote how the country can go communist, right? Communism is where Mr. or Mrs. Reef's lifestyle doesn't own any. They'll take everything you own and divvy it up to the state. So everyone gets a portion. Now, socialism is what we're in right now, Mr. and Mrs. Reese. Now, when you say government stores, they're not really government stores. Stores are owned by corporations. But the stores, they want their food stamps restored because when you give money to the people, you, me, food banks, etc., it gets divvied up as a socialist program to others. So your food stamp money goes to the store. The store gets a portion, right? The store turns around. Hold on a sec. My dog's oofing. Let me turn on my camera on the door. Okay, so it'll tell me exactly. Because he oofs, he alerts me to noise. Okay, nothing. Alright, he's just oofing because, well, anyways, let me just tell you. So, what happens is, weird. Anyways, oh yeah, that's why, because we have top chats. Here we go, live chats. Alright. So, basically, what happens is the stores get the money from the food stamp recipients, and they survive. But the stores turn around and pay for the truckers and the shippers to ship it in. So it's all a trickle-down economy as a socialistic program. Think about it. So when you say the government owns the stores, they don't. They don't own the stores. So by law, New York can't turn around and pass laws to own the stores in New York, Mr. and Mrs. Reese lifestyle, due to the fact that it would have to be issued by the governor of New York. And now, if they agreed to it, it's a different story. But you get the whole point, right? I can't wait to see the government grocery stores in New York. Grocery stores currently aren't empty, but grocery stores aren't getting filled. They know if the food stamp recipients don't come. By the way, that Zohan guy did a post earlier on one of those talk show places where he literally stated something of the stupidness, where he said something about $350 million ballroom. They're all arguing about the ballroom. I think they're trying to line up to say that the message is now there, right? And 350. Oh, Attorney General's called. It is Jay Jones. So Virginia is now cooked. That's right. It's all blue. So, there we go. So, right there, we just got the latest message. So, Virginia's Attorney General is now Jay Jones. And then you got Ghazala Hashmi, I hope I spelled that right, is the Democratic Lieutenant Governor-elect with 86%. Mike Sherrill is currently looking to win, 78% of the votes counted. And you got Zohran Mamdani with 86% of the vote. So as Lifestyles, Reese Lifestyle said. And then 50% of the votes is for the Supreme Court number 1, Supreme Court number 2, and Supreme Court number 3. So apparently it's very big. California Proposition 50 has not come out yet. Wow. This is a real wingding of a show tonight, people. Literally. And a lot of people out there, you're seeing the live channels with the live people. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God. Mr. or Mrs. Reese is completely right. New York is cooked. So, if you're still watching, Reese, you're probably swapping channels, I assume. Let me ask you a question just out of nosiness. Do you think, Reese, Mr. or Mrs. Lifestyle, do you think Virginia is cooked too? And New Jersey? Let's just see what's going on. And what do you think's happening? I mean, Reese, I'm going to take some comments too. I'd like to get other people's inputs. But to me, with these elections called, the only thing left called completely is California. I think the rest of the elections, I mean, I voted here. I don't even know what happened here where I live. Most of the ballot where I live is all incumbent Democrats. Just saying, you know. They have like 2 ballot measurements. They were like, do you want to raise taxes? Do you want to raise taxes to pay for something? I was like, no. I mean, people are already paying enough in high taxes. Why should we pay like 72 cents per $1,000? I mean, literally, isn't it was like 72 cents per $1,000. I mean, I will not vote to raise taxes. Yeah. Every time they say, please vote so we can get a new library. Not going to happen. The taxpayers shouldn't be paying for a new library. The library's small anyways, but the library does their service. I just think it's funny. But anyways, so back to the argument at hand. Chloe, you guys know Chloe when she comes here. Lovely Chloe. She supports me being a registered Republican. She thinks, you know, everyone has the rights of a freedom of speech. So the other thing is don't let the politicians control retirement and some other aid, you know. Well, let's just go look at the Washington State numbers on a couple things. Actually, I'm going to actually do that because I would really like to see... So we're going to do 11/4/2025, right? I want to see the numbers. So the general election voter turnout in my state currently, right? Currently, they'll check it out right now, but I want to know what's going on in the voter turnout. I want to know what the election results are. All right, so what is the election results? Are they going to give it to us for free, or do we have to pay for it? All right, so... great. All right, here, Washington. Man, what is with... Okay, here we go. This is... I don't know. Yeah, here we go. Right there. Current election numbers right here for my county. So the current election numbers... yeah, we got the voters thing. Okay, so hospital district number 1. I know someone who works in the works at the Family Resource Center. She's on the ballot for her incumbent seat. Yeah. So, anyways, you have hospital count authorizing regular property tax levy. Now, you guys can note that I am not up for any of... I live on an island. I will admit that. But it says right here, capital project levy for site work, taxes, bond levy, taxes. And then it's talking about more taxes. And I would like to know about the you know, that one general election thing with the Washington's healthcare election, you know. Yeah, so let's see. I hope we don't get any news. Okay, so state legislature. Yeah, great. So it's always talking about Seattle. It's not talking about the frickin' I want to know the state legislature. What's in the ballot? I mean, come on, man. I mean, okay, so Washington State special general election. So apparently there's the House positive special election general. I don't care about that. So apparently they're hiding the numbers for this hospital doodad number, you know, the whole hospital thing where they're like, you need to do this and you need to do that to get a health care or whatever. I'm like, dude, my American people. So New York City race has just been called. Apparently I got a crappy email. The Democratic Party just sent it. They're like, they're like, oh yeah, see, look at this. The election has been called, but can you donate $7 to our funds? Really? You think a registered Republican wants to give money right now? And they just like, we won the gubernatorial race in Virginia and New Jersey and other races coming in, but we could use your money. Really? So you're campaigning on my money, right? Taxpayer money. which I mean, literally, I mean, well, my father, he's a registered Republican too, but he's just like, I'm voting for the best. I'm voting for the best. Okay, so Virginia is all blue. I'm sorry to say that's interesting. Yep. New Jersey, they're still counting it. As of right now, 10:03 p.m. Eastern Time. We only have 7 minutes until the counts come in for California. Reese, since you did post a while ago, yeah, just out of curiosity, you're still with us. Do you think California's cooked? Oh, yeah, did my adopted brother message me again? Yeah, he was being perverted. That's what it was. He was swearing in an email. Sorry I don't answer as people that swear. However, I do want to say with love that I love all of you, that it is an interesting race tonight. Literally interesting. I know a guy who's like, oh, we're going to take back the House and Senate, and then I can be safe being gay. Yeah, if you're in a blue state, you're already safe. I mean, come on, man. I mean, literally, what is with these people? What is with these people? Yeah, I mean, literally, what is the reason of these people, right? Anyways, doesn't matter. Anywho, I'm going to close out my email. The less tabs I have open, the better. So we can continue. Let's just close this too. Save on tab. Save a tab. That's a good one. Save a tab. Anyways, it's a real wingding of a night, people. A real wingding of a night. Still getting over a cold. Maybe my nose is... maybe I have a block up here, and that's why I'm like... I don't know. Yeah, so anyways. Interesting night. I mean, New Jersey, blue. Virginia, blue. New York mayor race, blue. Who else is on the ballot this evening? Do we even know what... Is there any other governors that are red or blue? Yeah. I mean, sorry. That wasn't proper. I apologize there. Yeah, my apologies. I had dinner before coming here, and then when I saw the election results, I was like... All these people are all, yeah, we're winning. Yeah, I'm going. You're not winning. You're not. You think you're winning, but you're not. If you were winning, your elected officials would turn around and say, okay, we're opening the government. We're going to give 42 million people health care. By the way, let me ask you a question. The Republicans think they can make a deal where they can extend the Obamacare subsidies for 2 years. Think about it. What happens in 2 years, in 2027 to 2028, when election time comes around? You're going to be fighting for the same thing. It's like, I'm sorry to say to you people out there, when people call me a moron, an idiot, a crackpot, and yet you walk around, you're like this, and you're like, oh yeah, we won! And then government opens up and you get 2 years. 2 years of subsidies, but then you forget all about it. And then tomorrow, let's just say tomorrow is another thing, right? Let's just say, okay, here's how I see what's going to happen tomorrow, okay? You got Virginia. You got New Jersey. Play along with me, people. You got New York. They're like, yeah, we're going to own the redneck bumpkins. Bumpkins. You guys want to own bumpkins. Yeah, you want to own bumpkins. It's not like the bumpkins turn around and say they want to own libs, okay? Problem is, American people turn around and they voted, right? Now, I was telling... Who was I telling today? I was telling Chloe today. 99.9% of Jehovah's Witnesses, you can believe whatever you want with them. Yeah. 99.9% of them, it's against their religion to vote. In my opinion, let me put it this way. If you guys turn around, and you turn around, and you turn around, and all of a sudden, you sit there and you say, I can't live with the dictator, then move. Because here's the truth. The truth is, a lot of people voted for that supposed dictator, alleged dictator. Because they wanted justice for all. They don't like when you sit there, right? I mean, and they sit there, right? And people are going and voting in droves. They're voting in droves. They're like, look here, armed goon man with a gun and a mask. And they're like, I'm the law. You're not going to vote. You're staying home. And they're like, me. Yeah. And what are they doing? They're going out and voting. Why? Because they're telling the alleged dictator, we're done with you. We want our freebies. You're not taking it away. So what is happening? Here's what's happening. Tomorrow, they're going to be starting the Supreme Court's going to vote. That's what I call it. Voting by court if tariffs are legal. If tariffs aren't legal and Congress has the purse like I know they should, and it says in the Constitution, which, by the way, has anyone ever read their Constitution recently? I got like 3 mini Constitutions laying around, I got to tell you. Constitution says it's Congress's ability to tax. But you know what? Thing is under the emergency pretenses, President wants to declare everything emergency. Well, think about it. I mean, you heard what's his name? They're all calling Pete. I can't pronounce his name. A lot of nickname calls him the Secretary of Defense, who's a drunk. They call him Kegs Breath. Well, I think that's funny for a moment, but think about it. He's literally like, we're going to kill anyone we want. Yeah, so 67% of Americans say, what happens? They could go and bomb. 67% of Americans say, we don't need it. We'll just take 37% that support it. Anyways, bottom line is, the American people are tired. They're tired, apparently, of not getting their handouts. Think about it. Remember what I said, right? If they get and open the government after making a deal for a 2-year extension on Obamacare, they're going to do the same thing they do every 4 years with, well, Social Security's running out of money. Oh, let's kick the can down the street. Until one day they say, oh, we can only pay 77% of benefits. Now, apparently, the President of the United States allegedly claims, this is something I hear, well, we have enough taxes, tariffs, to pay everything. Well, if you have enough tariffs, like $20 trillion, you can knock down the debt, right? You can, in 1 year, in 10 months, $20 trillion allegedly, pay off the debt, $20 trillion. Then in 10 more months, pay off another $20 trillion. The debt gets to zero, put the rest in Social Security. Oh, wait. A lot of people say that's a bunch of BS. I don't know what to believe. But to me, it's entertainment. But truly, think about it. They're going to open the government up for a cheap fix and then kick the can and hope like heck. And yet, when the American people get turned around and they're like, yes, we own the rednecks, the Supreme Court's going to say, no, we own your sorry bacon. We're going to let President Trump have his way with tariffs. You can pay it. Then what's going to happen? By the way, has anyone seen the news lately? There's, well, let me Google it real quick so I can actually get it properly. And before anyone asks, it says sparkling water. It's not beer, it's just water. It's a good lifestyle change over alcohol. Now, there's this thing, right? It's a, let's see. So apparently, let me see if I get this right. So there's a website out there. Okay. It says by Black Enterprise. This is the first place. Okay, or African American Enterprise. I'll say I don't like using the word black. It's disrespectful, in my opinion. It says they don't want you to work or spend any money from November 25th, 2 days before, the Tuesday, November 25th to December 2nd. Don't quote me on what December 2nd is date-wise. I'm not going to look it up. But anyways, it's like 30. So it's like a 1 week blackout. No shopping. No working. It's basically a federal strike. And they're encouraging everyone to cripple, mind you, the entire country's financial system by showing people that, but think about it this way. The American people get that, right? They say, oh yeah, we'll do this. But then what happens when, what happens when the American people, let me just go back here for a second. The American people turn around, right? And they do this. And like say, the American economy goes, right? But the rest of the world, they're not in a blackout. They're like, oh, the Yanks are shutting down for a week. Good for the Yanks, right? The other people are going to be sitting there like Amazon Europe and Amazon Australia and Amazon New Zealand and whatever else. They're the ones making the deals, whereas the rest of the American people are standing around and being going, yippity-doo-dah, yippity-doo-dah. By the way, I just want to check this. Just see if it's accurate over here. Yeah, so, but yeah, think about it. The news tonight. And by the way, let's get back to the news cycle for a second. I saw some interesting news that I would like to say for the record real quick for Mr. or Mrs. Reese Lifestyle. Love that name, by the way, Reese. Welcome again. It says here, Democrats sweep the first major election of Trump's second term. Right. Yeah, because American people are standing around, as my sister would say, saying, hey, dude, we want freebies. I mean, what type of government do you want to sit there and ask for freebies? I mean, literally. I mean, if you know how to prep properly, you'll be prepping and eating pretty good. I mean, I had a banquet mega bowl tonight for dinner. You know how tasty that mega bowl was? It was chicken with, it was like a $4 version of the KFC famous bowl. It's like 6 pieces of chicken, some corn, some mashed potatoes. Oh my God, it was tasty. $4. I mean, literally, you can live comfortably without basically worrying about your grocery bill. By the way, we have another person that came in. New York is cooked. Jill Denise. Yes, Jill. Welcome to the channel, Jill. Thank you. Welcome. That's what that. But anyways, let's get to the headlines for a second. So apparently Virginia's governor, they just brought in 90% of the vote. So 90%. So Abigail Spanberger, I want to call it spam as in something posing as meat. Then you got Attorney General Jay Jones. 5-6 point lead. That's not much in that. Then you have Ghazala Hashmi, again, let's just say to Denise, New York may be cooked, but what about the rest? 83% of the vote came in from Mickey Sherrill. Apparently Mickey's won, but they haven't called that one yet, thank God. And Zohan Mandani has 89% of the vote, so they're all projecting these people. Are we going to even get a recount, or are they just going to accept it? So apparently, Pennsylvania Supreme Court Justice Doherty retained the seat. 61% said yes. 63% said Supreme Court Justice Donahoe. And Supreme Court Justice White, or however you pronounce it, retains their seat. 64%. And the California Proposition 50 will be coming in about 43 minutes. Yeah, and all these things. So, while talking about it, let's go back to my discussion earlier for the new live tuners in that came in, like Mrs. Jill Denise, right? Jill Denise, welcome. Basically, like I said earlier, the USS United States, biggest battleship in the world, fired over a 4-time large U.S. carrier like the Ford, let's call it the America. And the United States told the America, United States first, we want our handouts. So now you got 3 states going blue. Can we contain this for 2026? I don't know. It depends on how it is. But I have a feeling, as I said, the Supreme Court may vote tomorrow to piss off the Americans, knowing that their seats are permanently locked in, that they can F over the American people the rest of their life. They can also turn around and say, hey, we're taking away all your voting rights because you don't deserve it. Yeah? I mean, I would like to see how this plays out, everyone, in the next 12 months. They're like, oh, now we got to ramp up for 12 months. I would run on the Republican ticket against a Democrat that we know will win, because everyone's flocking to Democrats because everyone, I mean, I had a friend of mine the other day, right? I think she's a Republican at heart, right? Like me. You know, she says to me a while ago, sweet lady, very nice lady, very sweet. She said to me, Rita, why are we paying taxes and having our tax money go to red states? Can't we cut it off? Good point. But then, here's what I said. If the government shut down, then why should we be paying our taxes right now? Why should the states pay their taxes? The government shut down, that means they can't transfer money to red states. That's what I keep hearing. But then again, I'd like to hear you guys' opinion, because, you know, a lot of people look at me and they think I'm a liberal snowflake, and I'm far from it. I'm one of these that I'll tell you, I do not like fraud, waste, and abuse. I've been in welfare offices where me and my significant other had to wait 8 hours to get welfare just for re-up for, what was it? He was getting $75 in food stamps, and I was getting like $16. You know, my significant other. Think about that, $16. That was like 4 gallons of milk back then. Yet I had to wait 8 hours. Think about that. And yet people walk in with driving Corvettes, caddies, wearing gold chains, going, where's my check? I need it. You know, African Americans, Latinos, Hispanics. Love them all, by the way. They're great people. But there's too many people. I mean, look, the numbers. I mean, when you hear people say, well, the numbers don't lie, there's a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse. Yeah, there is. I mean, think about it. There's people that don't even deserve food stamps, that think they're entitled to food stamps, that go around and buy 10 cases of vodka and 100 cases of beer or more per year, and they think they're entitled. I'm sorry. I mean, when you start to look at that way the country's working and claiming these people are entitled, there's a problem in this country. I don't sit there and say, oh, I get $24 in food stamps. I'm entitled. Yeah, and yet there's a lot of people in this country that say America's cooked. Look, we got 12 months, right? A lot of people ask me, how come you didn't do a video yesterday? Well, I'll give you 2 reasons. Chloe came in, and we were talking about Thanksgiving. Of course, I'm supposed to choose a Thanksgiving dinner, which I may choose a ham, a duck, a turkey, a whole chicken. One year my mom, we were so poor we had a little whole chicken. Fed me and Mom. Her gravy was the best, by the way. You got to understand, Mom's cooking was woo! But my mom would sit there right now and be like, oh my God. You know, I mean, look, you want to hear what happened this morning? I'll tell you what happened. My adopted brother, Mr. Swearer, he turns around, right? And this is a funny story today. Anyways, so let's get back to this thing real quick. So it says we're shutting it down. Coordinated economic blackout, right? Well, who's it going to affect? I mean, how many redneck killjackses you call people? You know, because you liberals will sit there and be like, we're going to make a point. We're going to shut down the government. Good for you. But you know what? Well, you guys shut down the government. I'm going to be sitting there going, hey, I may support Amazon. What for? Christmas time. People's got to buy presents. Chloe wants that second laptop. Not that it matters. My adopted brother's like, you're on a desktop. But no, honestly, let's get back to this, okay? So there's people out there, 42 million people, that probably all voted Democrat this year in the worldwide scheme because their food stamps were cut. You hear, well, when the government opens up the government and we'll get it. Oh, so, you see, has anyone saw the news today where the news were sitting around? And they're sitting around and they're like, well, we're not paying the food stamps till the government reopens. So they're saying right now, this is what the news is, the mainstream media, they suck, by the way. Well, if you open the government, we'll give you food stamps. But the Democrats aren't fighting for food stamps. Well, actually, they are to a point, but that's number two. They're fighting, well, the health care, right? Remember the health care thing? So if they do get their deal passed and the Republicans bend and open the government, what happens, right? The Republicans will only kick it down the line for 2 years and hope like heck they can regain control. But Republicans aren't worried because they, oh, well, even if we get a whole blue wave and the entire country is blue, we still got the Supreme Court. Right. Well, in 2026, if we lose both House and Senate, we still have the Supreme Court, which we could take away election voting for 99% of Americans, and we're good. I mean, think about it. This is what these people are thinking about. I personally think, I mean, literally, I mean, it's like Jill Denise and Reese Lifestyle said, New York is cooked. It's not just New York. I mean, think about it. As my sister would say, Jill and Reese, they're voting with their stomachs. They're voting for the freebies. That's all they're doing. If they could vote to keep their Obama phones, they would. They would vote to keep their Obama phones. They would vote to keep their Obama phones. They would vote to keep their food stamps. I mean, literally. I mean, remember what I said tonight about the government and their and the state thing, right? State turns around, they got this bill. The bill is something to do with health insurance. Chloe's like, well, it helps the disabled and the elderly. Some health insurance thing. Well, let me look it up because personally, you guys can call me a bunghole, but sorry about this. I gotta type it. I don't like it. Yeah, so. Alright, so. So apparently, oh, yeah. Alright, so, is it 8201 that we voted for? Anyways, the ballot book is somewhere, you know. So let's look at this. I think this is the one that, you know, so. Yeah, so basically it's a Washington State's Constitutional Amendment 8201, apparently. Joint resolution measure on the November 4th ballot today that allowed the state to invest the funds from Washington Care long-term care program into a more diversified portfolio, similar to the state's public pension fund. Wow. Yeah, see how they think? This measure aims to increase the investment returns in long care services and supports LTSS Trust Fund, which gives the Washington Cares program eligibility seniors and peoples with disabilities. Eligibility seniors and peoples with disabilities. Now think about that for a minute. I want you just to think about that, the purpose. I looked at it and said, look, I'm disabled. You think they're going to let me have a program like that? No, you can't have that. So you know what? I was like, you know what? Reject it. Current law, under the current state law, the fund's investments are restricted to low return secure options like government bonds and savings. So they want to take this money, plop it into the stock market and hope like heck they can do this. Yeah. Funds in a more diversified balanced portfolio, which includes stocks. See? I didn't even read that part until I said stock market. Argument supported would generate significant higher returns for over 50 years. You'd get $67 billion without raising taxes, ensuring the program. So it's basically like Medicaid for elderly and disabled. Certain eligible seniors and people with disabilities, or people that are, what's that word? LD, learning disabled, or they have that state program, it's for elderly disabled. Yeah, I mean, come on. Supporters argue the diversify arguments against stability and certify the beneficiaries and taxpayers. They characterize the change as a financial roulette. Yeah, I mean, think about it. I mean, literally, they tried to pass a measure in 2020 and it failed. So they're doing it again. It failed in 2024. When will they learn that they can't do this? The thing is has anyone ever thought, oh, well, we're going to do this so we can put that money in the stock market? Yeah, and if every state did that, the stock market might just go down the toilet and tank because, I mean, think about it. $67 billion for, that'd be one guy going, crypto's good today. Boop. Oh, crypto's going to fail. We'll put this in Microsoft. No, Microsoft. I mean, literally, one guy would be a stock market guy for the state. And the state could sit there and be like, I mean, if we're going to invest that kind of money in a bill like this for healthcare, we could always do it to Social Security. Let's see what happens. We'll put all our money, half our money into Social Security, into the stock market. Or the state can have their own Social Security and put that in the stock market. But no, these people think, well, I mean, think about it, people. Think about it. We only have a half hour till we get to see the numbers. So let's see what's going on. So let's see here. So currently, I'd like to say, let's see. We know Spanberger. So the votes are 91% currently. So they still got 9%. That's the thing. I mean, how could you call a vote before it's in? Doesn't that sound like they're tooting their horn early? Okay, let's see. So we got 3 blue ones. Mike Sherrill, 86% in. They're still fighting it, right? But apparently this one, New Jersey's like 12.5 to 13 points above water for that. And Zohan is about 9.3% higher. I mean, come on, with not 80. I mean, literally, 67% of the vote is already in for the Supreme Court, basically. 68, I should say, sorry. And yet, California ain't in for another 30 minutes. Yeah. So I'd like to know, for you people out there, because I'm a concerned citizen like you watching my channel, and I have 3 watchers right now. I'm one of them, so welcome to the view, to the Rita's View tonight. I mean, literally, let's just get down to it again, okay? So, Democrats won Virginia, New Jersey, and New York's mayoral race, okay? So, 3 major milestones. What does that mean for anyone? Nothing. Will it mean anything? No. Will it ever mean anything? I don't think so. But all these people are saying, well, we're doing this for a point. Yeah, until the Supreme Court comes in and says, we're taking away your voting rights. We're going to gut your freebies because we're the Supreme Court. You know, I mean, literally. Has anyone ever thought like Reese or Jill? Maybe Jill and Reese, they don't like freebies. I mean, there's a world where people get freebies. There's a world that doesn't get freebies. In my opinion, the world to get freebies as well, the world gets freebies. And a lot of people are like, I mean, literally, Chloe's like, let's pray that we get a Muslim man in New York. Well, let me give you guys a bit of advice about that Zohan guy, okay? Or Zoran. He may be the governor or mayor-elect of New York. But you guys got to think, if the Democrats can run on a ticket like him and push people like he did for his campaign, then you'd know dang good and well that they can win. Unfortunately, the Zoran guy, from what I understand, was born out of the country. Heck, Donald Trump could be like, it's illegal, we're deporting him. I I mean, I'm sorry, we could deport him, but, you know, he's like, bring it on. Am I racist? No. Am I against Muslims? No. I have a Quran right up there I read. Unfortunately, it's not about Allah. It's about, not about this. The American people voted. They're like, the New Yorkers said, hey, it's time for a new diversity guy, right? Now, you all know that socialism is a type of program that like I said to Reese, that literally trickle down economy. So you go and you apply for Obamacare. Obamacare gives you subsidies. Your health care, let's just say you're paying $75 a month with your deductibles and whatever you need, right? And you're healthy. Someone else, you're paying into that same pool to pay for someone who's sicker. So all that money goes out and it's divided, you know, socialism. Well, the food stamps the same way. You get food stamps, the grocery store gets the money, and the grocery store's got to pay the shipper. So the guy that brings in the food for you to buy, he drives the truck. So it's all trickled down. So it goes like this. Guy purchases food. Major corporation like Fred Meyer, Kroger, Safeway, they give it into their corporation pockets. That corporation takes as much profit as they can. That's why you know, food prices are so high. They turn around and they give it to the driver. So it's like, you're at the top of the pyramid, then the store gets it, then the trucker gets it. As Elon would say, one giant Ponzi scheme. Think about it. That's how socialism works. So basically, that's basically how socialism works. I mean, literally. And so a lot of people are like, oh, the country's going to go socialist. We're already socialists, if you didn't know. I mean, literally. Look at the elderly. Look at the disabled. You got Medicare, socialist program. You know, you pay into Social Security all these years, and then all of a sudden, when you retire, you get Medicare. And then Medicare turns around and says, okay, you're 70 years old, you get Medicare, right? 70 years old, you get Medicare. And then they say your premium's $185. And then next year, by the way, has anyone ever noticed next year's premium went to $206? Don't even ask what 2027 is. It keeps going up. So your cost of living that you're like, oh yeah, I got a cost of living. All of a sudden it goes. And then people sit there and they say Social Security's cooked. Medicare is cooked. Yeah. Why? Because the doctors don't want to take it. I was at a doctor's office the other day. And my stepbrother, he's like, oh, I can't wait to be on disability. Woo, more money. Yeah, until they turn around and they say your Medicare Part A and Part B, they're going to jack up. They're going to be like, oh, you're bringing this much money? Your Medicare Part A and Part B is going to be $800. So you go from like $6,000 on, well, whatever, you know, and then you lose it. And then you're like this, and you're like just a little above the poverty level. And you're like, oh, what gives? Well, you bring in more money. The more money you bring in, the tier level, the more you have to pay into Medicare. Yeah, you didn't know that. Yeah, so I mean, there's like 4 or 5 tier levels for Medicare. So, and then you turn around. I mean, it's all socialistic grocery stores, right? And people say, well, what isn't socialist? Think about it this way. If you get Social Security checks, right? You pay it into it, you're fine. But say you were born disabled. You get a check, not SSI. Let's just say disability, survivors, retirement, whatever, right? You get all this money. And you're sitting there, and they're like, okay, it's a socialist program. And you get food stamp, you get Medicaid too, you get a government phone. So you get all this trickle down. You're like, oh, free phone? Or, you know, food stamps? Or, so 23 minutes, peeps, until we call in the election of... Oh yeah, do you see this? So apparently Hakeem Jeffries is celebrating Democrat sweeping victory. Affordability was on the ballot. Really? Yeah. As long as we don't hear from him, let me just see if I have to... See, I want to look at that, but I don't want to trigger copyright. So, Oh, here we go. So, yeah, okay. So I got it on mute. So let's see what Hakeem Jeffries says, because frankly, I'd like to see this. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries weighed in on Democratic wins across, telling the news that this party won on the issue of affordability. Right. Affordability was on the ballot today, and Democrats have won across the country. The voters sent a clear message to the Republican leaders. The American people are saying, you have failed us. You promised us to lower the high cost of living. Jeffries added, the Democrats are going to stay the course, stay focused on the issues that matter for the American people. Right, now that they're trying to win back both House and Senate. Ahead of the polls closing in California, where Democratic-led measure on redistricting is on the ballot, the minority leader was confident that Democrats can cinch another victory. Wow. Oh, wow, look at this. A blue state's not passing a red flag laws on guns. Pfft. That doesn't work, trust me. Red flag laws do not work. And you guys could sit there and, any of you guys watching this, I gotta go grab me another water in a second. Obama weighs in on X. Congratulations to all the Democrat candidates who won tonight. It's a reminder that when we come together around a strong, forward-looking leader who care about the issues that matter, we can win. We still got plenty of work to do, but the future looks a little brighter. Really? I mean, I'm sorry to say, but apparently 75 million voters voted for Donald Trump. And that means there is a majority. So these people do not want their tax money to go for food stamps, cell phones, what the Democratic freeloading moochers call grifting. That's. Yeah. So apparently, yeah, so they're all, I'm sorry to say, people. So apparently the Democrats are defending Pennsylvania race, a court majority in a race with 2028 implications. So now they're saying that Pennsylvania is safe. Yeah. I'm sorry to say this, but, I'm starting to wonder what's going on in the world of politics. Right. Mm-hmm. So my father-in-law is like, the only thing left is California. Right. So he's bankrolling that. Apparently, in his opinion, so a lot of people are saying this is the night that tells us that they're riding on the blue wave. The blue wave! Really, I remember my brother, oh, yeah, we're going to have a red wave and it's going to always be a red wave. Now he's probably, you know what? He should be happy, because if he gets a blue wave all over, he'll get his retirement funds that he wants without worrying about living on a measly peanut of SSI the rest of it. He'd be like, oh yeah! Instead, he'd rather live on peanuts, I bet, than basically vote for a Democrat. That's how he is. I mean, literally. But then again, he thinks whatever. Jill Denise, I don't have a lot of hope for California. I don't either, Jill. I don't. I mean, literally, if they're going to try to strong arm, do all the gerrymandering they can between now and 2026. And when that happens, I mean, look, Jill, I was going to go to my kitchen for a second, grab a water, but what I wanted to say to you and all the viewers tonight is, well, my sister is right, Jill. My sister is damn right. The American people that voted today, they may have sat at home thinking the worst of the worst. You can either have a female for president. What good would that do? Or they could have Donald Trump. And if they didn't want either party, Jill, they decided to sit at home, and then they basically decided that their country wasn't fighting for, apparently, right? So all of a sudden, they see in 10 months of Donald Trump's, nearly 10 months of Donald Trump's corruption, in their opinion, they went to the voters' polls because they see ICE detaining people. Wow. They see ICE detaining people and arresting people and zip tying kids and, oh, not in our country. So what happens? They go out and they vote. All these people vote. And all of a sudden, Jill, he says, President, well, until the government opens up, no food stamps. I'll buy that. I'll accept that. What happens? All of a sudden, the reserve cash has to be used, which in my opinion is unconstitutional. I've read the Constitution. And then he's like, the country will go down the toilet if we don't let me have the powers of the purse and have the powers of tariffs. Fortunately, the American people are sitting there saying, look, we were the envy of the world. We gave money freely to people in other countries to protect children from AIDS. Children died, they say. We got a Republican bunch of crackpots, that's what they're saying, that only care about being a fascist, racist piece of crap that doesn't support the white man. They're like, being black, or the black man's getting the better deals. And then my sister, Jill and Reese, American people, they all want the handout. So why'd they vote? They voted for two reasons. One is they want the food stamps. They want their health care. And three, they're like, yes, next year we're going to own the bumpkins. That's what I'm hearing. So now they're going to turn around, Jill, and they're going to own the redneck bumpkin Republicans. The Republicans that sit there and say, hey, we need some reforms. I mean, look, I'm sorry to say, I see a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse where I live. A lot of fraud, waste, and abuse. And I don't know, Jill. I mean, and Reese, these redneck bumpkins, they think that, if we don't have some, accountability, we're not going to have a country left. We're not going to have funds left. We're going to have people freaking take advantage until the entire country is down the toilet, pretty much. And then we don't have anything. Think about it. You got too many freeloading moochers basically coming out and going, ugh, I need the food stamps. And yet they get the food stamps, Jill, Reese. And then they go and they buy crap loads of vodka, crap loads of beer. I mean, with every month that I got my measly $23 or $24, I added to what I didn't have, and I'd buy 10 cases of ramen. That was it. 10 cases, cook it up, eat it, be happy. These people, oh, I can't. Oh, I mean, I know people that think that they're entitled. They're more entitled, Reese and Jill, entitled than you or I. They think, well, I had 20 years of schooling and I should work for and then retire and let you all eat dirt. Personally, I think they should be eating dirt. It's like Donald Trump said in his Truth Social, something about, or was that some commentary? Someone was like, no food stamps for you, go eat dirt. Well, and no food stamps for you, go pound sand. Yeah? I mean, literally, in my opinion, the children should eat. But the children, we shouldn't have people relying on, I mean, there are a lot of people say, oh, but you're a bigot. You don't. $24 a month. I rely on my other, my money that I get every month for food. You see me complaining? No. The only time I complain is, when I gotta restock on milk or restock on coffee or restock on whatnot. But do I complain? Yeah. Do you think that the American people, like me sitting there and telling you guys the truth, the American people, I live in a state where everyone expects handouts. Everyone accepts free health care. Everyone accepts food stamps. Everyone accepts that you should be the one that hands over your guns. Everyone in this state, or blue states that I've seen, they want to strip you of your guns. They want to basically be like the Demolition Man. You walk down the street and you got these little rods and you're like, brink! And you're knocked out because of one little, right? I mean, literally, they want to take away your guns. And yet, you got people going, but the guns protect. I mean, do we have any hope in California? No, we don't. Why? Because I think Reese and Jill, I got to get my water in a second. Yeah, Reese and Jill. But I think, did anyone see the polls where some guy was Gavin Newsom saying that he was attacking what was it? Donald Trump. Donald Trump was saying, well, the votes are illegal. We need to investigate. How do you investigate a state? Okay, here's the problem with the federal government. Federal government says, oh, we're the DOJ. We can do what we want. Okay, but then the states thump them back and say, but we're a sovereign state. We have supreme seniority. And it says right here, right here, and right here that we control our own elections. Okay, so here's how we fix it, okay? Anyone, quote, unquote, who does not like, quote, unquote, a blue state, move to a red state. And anyone in a red state that is a Democrat, move to a blue state. And then let the blue state, so it's 75% for the Supreme Court justices in Pennsylvania, so they're still counting the votes. Actually, 76%. And Proposition 50 starts in 10 minutes. So, but anyways, let me just finish because I know you guys are turning. We are returning to what do you call it? They say sovereignty, right? So the law states that every state has the ability to do things, right? Mail-in ballots, right? They're like, oh, we got to do an executive order. States will fight it. If you got blue states wanting to expand, let's just say Virginia, New Jersey decide to expand voters to change or whatever, and they put on the ballot for 2026 or, get it on a ballot initiative. Do you want mail-in ballots? And they do. Then 3 more states go. Eventually you can have all of that. And then people say, well, think about it. The American people turn around. What do they want? They want freebies. They'll vote for freebies. They will vote for freebies. When they see the freebies are taken away, they'll vote the Republicans out saying, the Republicans are bad. Really? Really? You got the Democrats turning the faucet off going, not until we get health care. Well, you know what? I'm tired of people turning around, right? I'll tell you my opinion, and this is just my opinion, and I hope when I get back with my water, you guys will agree with me, that you guys got them fighting over food stamps. 42 million people. Some of them are overweight. Maybe they could lose a meal or two. Oh, but you can't take away from the overweight. They may go into shock. And then, hold on a sec, and then, on top of this old lady here, that's me, Rita. Then you turn around and what else you get? What else you get? Freebies. Oh, you can't discriminate against overweight people. Maybe not. But how many Americans out there turn around and they're looking for nothing but handouts? Yeah, think about it. Blue states, they love blue states. You got the people that say they need their health care free, right? The Democrats are saying, well, we're not going to open the government up until you give us back the health care. Well, I'm sorry, and this is where I'm going with this before I go get my water. I know I've said that for many times. Is I want you all that's watching this, Jill and Reese and the rest of you, while I go get my water, think about this. What's more important in your life? If I was running as a Republican in Washington State against a Democrat, my offer would be, first we need to fix Social Security. Yeah, think about it. They've been kicking the can for years. By 2030, 2034, 77% of money will be donated to, or not donated, sorry, will be distributed. 77%. Well, my adopted brother, he's like, oh, well, I'll get my whole check. We don't need to worry about that. I'll have my full check. But there's two ways they could do it. They could let it run out of money and be like, well, the 77% is not containing because it got more retirees. Then they can dump everyone on SSI, or they can turn around and say the states need a UBI. I personally would like them not to be poking everyone about health care and then kick the health care down every 2 years. They're like, oh, we need the Obama subsidy, and work till they get both House and Senate, and then they're like, okay, we're passing a universal health care plan like Bernie Sanders wants for everyone, which means you don't get to choose, remember, and they pass it, and it's for life. And then you got the Republicans going, see, you know, you're paying more money for something again, right? But the Republicans sit there, and they sit there, right? And the Democrats want to kick the can every 2 years until they get the House, Senate, and White House to basically fix health care. That's not cool. They're going to do the same play they do on Social Security. Think about it. We have all these problems. How do you fix it? Simple. It's like Jill just said, I don't have a lot of hope for California. Well, Jill, let me tell you what I think. I don't have a lot of hope for the Democrats. I think both Democrats and Republicans, as my sister said, they can't come together to make a deal where they can both make an agreement that can work. Instead, what are we getting? All these people tooting their horn until tomorrow morning when the Supreme Court says, nope, Congress should be dissolved because the president should have power. American people just revolt, basically throw them all out. They'd be like, pitchforks, guns, knives, machetes, swords, you name it. They'd be probably storming to drag them all out because they don't. I mean, has anyone ever seen that? It's like the economy poll is like 68% of Americans don't approve of Donald Trump's economy, right? It's like 72% of all Americans, 28% approve of the Supreme Court. So it's like the slim majority of MAGA believes that the majority, the American people with the handouts, aren't nothing. They're like, oh, just get rid of them. We're the real people. Well, then you got the other people, the liberals, as you call it, you know, saying stuff like, let's dissolve the states. Let's make blue states the United States, the red states the Confederate States, put a wall up on all those states with only travel restrictions on certain where you can fly into these areas through these things or by Canada and be done with it. That's what they want. They literally want this. They want this. They do not want to have their tax money in the blue states going to red states. They're like, cut out the red states. The red states are evil. They're bad. Yeah. Let me go get my water, people. I'll be right back and we can continue because the Proposition 50 is about to come up and we would like to see it, won't we? Not want not, as they say. Okay, let's get back to work. for you all people. You know how Americans always say that the current president, Donald J. Trump, is like Ebenezer Scrooge? Yeah, I heard that one today too. I mean, they're like, if he could take away everyone's Thanksgiving and Christmas, he would. Really? So the world revolves around handouts, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. Really? Then what happens? New Year's? Valentine's Day? St. Patrick's Day? Easter? Mother's Day? Father's Day? July 4th? Labor Day? Memorial Day? I mean, I'm sorry to say it to you all today. I love all of you. The American people, I feel, I've seen a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse. And it isn't continuing. People, let me tell you why people vote Republican. They want accountability. They want to sit there and say, I've seen enough people in my lifetime freeload, and they're not getting anywhere. They're literally going, I work hard. I'm a Boy Scout. I'm an Eagle Scout. I'm in the Army. I'm doing that guy from Green Berets, you know, the Sarge or whatever, the Jump Master. He likes blowing up stuff. And he's like, I've done all this. I'm a good person. And yet you got these people that want handouts. They're like claiming they're entitled. Sorry to say, peeps, but I don't think... Oh, 8 o'clock. Let's check it. Let's check the polls. So, apparently, there's only, two states left, 2 time zones left. California is now counting. Not that I care. East Coast or West Coast is now closed. But that leaves 1 hour from now. Alaska will close. And then 3 hours later, Hawaii. And I don't think we need to worry about Hawaii. All right, so goes like this. So currently, Abigail Spenberger, 13 points. So they're still counting. That's a 95%. Jay Jones is, again, it is, like 6 points for Virginia Attorney General. Then the number 3 is Ghazala Hashmi. That's like 9 points. 8.5, 9 points. Mike Sherrill, they still haven't counted it, 93%. So I guess New Jersey's got a thing where they got to count all the votes. Let's hope so. But it's, Zoran Mandani, again, you know, my people here, they're saying they're cooked. They are. 90% of the votes. 9%. Pennsylvania is 78%. 78%. 70 or 80%, sorry, it's all 80%. The number's wrong. And then finally, California Proposition, they're already saying that California won with a yes, with 0%. Wow. So I think I'm going to go out on a limb here for Moderator Pee-wee. I love Moderator Pee-wee dearly. Won't call her by her first name, Sister Pee-wee. I think she's going to basically come on. She should come on. She should vent. California should not have been redistricting. I mean, literally. But apparently, that's the only way they can play dirty. Well, Texas is going to redistrict. We're going to redistrict. Now, I heard a rumor today. A rumor, by the way. We'll see how it plays out. That apparently New Jersey and Virginia want to redistrict right away. I mean, literally. Why don't we just basically make the United States the United States of blue states and the United States red states, divide it up and let you redistrict all the crap you want. Then your red states can support yourself where the blue states support themselves. I mean, literally, but people say, oh, you can't have a divorce. Well, apparently California thinks they can by putting it on a ballot between 2026 and 2028. And if it doesn't work, well, they'll just secede and take the third largest GDP in the world. What is their third GDP supply? Oranges? Lemons? Limes? Mangoes? I don't know about you people, but it is not good. And now, you know, Cuomo congratulates Mamdani. So Cuomo, oh, did you see that stupid thing, everyone? Where they're like, what was it? Elon Musk was told that if he supported and got Andrew Cuomo elected, this is how stupid this is, that Andrew Cuomo elected, he would get almost $1 billion in tax breaks. $1 billion. I mean, has anyone ever heard of that kind of crap? I mean, literally. So, we're 3 minutes in, and California is now punching the votes. What do you guys think? I mean, Jill's already said it. No hope for California. Jill, why are you not having any hope? I don't have hope, but then again, it's California. I mean, literally. I mean, did you ever see that doctor that lived in Colorado? They moved to California, apparently. They're like, we have to make men pass very well at a young age for sex changes so they can be treated as real women, since we don't have the ability to. Yeah, that's California for you. Yeah, what was it that, oh yeah, that was like that Green Beret guy when he's sitting there and he says something to the effect of, we don't hear about it in the newspapers, and the guy's like, that's newspapers, ma'am, for you. You can fill volumes for what you don't know. That's true. I mean, think about it. I mean, you have all these people, they're like sitting there, right? And they got 1 million, 2 million subscribers, and they're like, and they're supporting Ground News. Ground News will get you the best news in the world. Really? Ground News will? I always thought Ground News was, I don't know. Anyways, I just thought I'd share that with you because I thought it was funny. I mean, literally, I thought that is truly, truly funny. And, my thing is everyone around literally, whoops, I didn't want that. Anyways, everyone around is the same, the same thing. And a lot of people are, I mean, my father's like, blue wave, yeah, yeah, a blue wave is hitting. And my adopted brother, he's not emailing me because he's probably chewing his name going, oh, mama. I mean, literally, to me, there's a lot of people out there that are pissed off. They want their handouts. Yeah. I mean, literally, has anyone ever thought about that? They're like, yes, we want our handout. We want our handout. Now, we want our handout. Give us our handout. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I've been looking at that numbers for a while, and you got all these people, they're all like, woot woot, look at us, we got, yeah, I mean, all these people are always talking about, the Supreme Court's gonna impeach him, right? Yeah, so anyways, I was just trying to find something real quick. So yeah, I mean, the American people turn around. There it is. It's okay, so it's a rental again. It was free last month, so I guess I can't complain. If I want to rent it, I can rent it. So, but anyways, my father, he's like, yeah, this is the start of a blue wave. Really? So how do we contain this so we don't get a blue wave? I'll tell you. As long as he turns around and says, we got to declare anyone who's Antifa, anti-fascist, to be a terrorist. Really? So then you get 300 million people that vote him out in 2026. They're making a point. I mean, think about it. He's literally sitting there saying, oh yes, this guy said on this channel that the Secretary of Defense wants to kill anyone he can. Any American that's is deemed to us as a terrorist, we're gonna kill. I mean, literally. Well, why don't you just kill 42 million people on food stamps? Get that over with first. And then if that doesn't help, kill everyone off the Obamacare and wipe them out. Then when you get 100 million people, you'll be like, see, we're good. But that would cause World War III because apparently you can't genocide your own country. I mean, look at the Filipino president, Duarte. He tried doing it, and he's now basically up for war crimes. I mean, think about it. I mean, you got all these people, they're voting for free handouts. I mean, the American people are sitting there and they're going, well, I need my handouts. Like my adopted brother. He's like, so I was at the Walmart. And I'm like, yeah. And I was at the Walmart. Yeah. And I was at the Walmart and I was at the checkout and there's this little cooler area. And I looked in, I grabbed 7 sub sandwiches from this little cooler area. And I went through with my EBT and that was $42 for 7 sandwiches. That's like 7 times 7. Actually, 7 times 7 is 49. Sorry. So, $49 for sandwiches. I'm sorry, dude, but I don't think getting up and buying stuff and then spending $49 for 7 sandwiches is good. I mean, literally. But they're like, oh, well, why? Why not? First of all, I'll tell you why not. All right? Now, you guys can sit there and say, okay, we're listening. Rita, we're listening. Logically, if Jill or Reese here was on food stamps, you'd think they'd be like $49 for 7 sandwiches or $49 to make it last. I'd go down the list and be like, looking at every little pricing. I mean, oh, it's 40 cents a can for soup. Says limit 12. I'll take 12 cans of this soup, 12 cans of that soup. Fill it up that way. But instead, these people, they're like, ugh. 7 sandwiches at $49. I mean, hasn't anyone ever thought about finances? I mean, literally. I mean, it's like I don't know. I mean, to me, it's like the American people are sitting there saying, you know, the American people are turning around and literally saying, hey, you know, we voted. I mean, you should see the comments and these left-wing media people. They're like, oh yeah, they're going to round us all up and kill us all. And it's like, you've been saying that for 9 months, okay? It hasn't happened, okay? I mean, literally, these guys literally live on clickbait, okay? With me, I'm here to tell you, you know, you can sit there and say, well, Rita's being the broken rib. Uh-oh. Voter turnout is coming in right now. Proposition number 50 is already 62% counted for 19% of the vote in 10 minutes. Wow. I'm going to go and say, Jill, honey, I agree completely with your statement. California is cooked. Now, next year will be all different, you know, because next year we'll see what happens. But again, remember what I said. These Democrats think they've finally won over the redneck goon buzz or the goon squads or the people. They haven't won anything. I'll tell you why. Because as soon as they think they won, the Supreme Court could be like, nope, you got to pay tariffs. Donald Trump can make you 10 million pounds of tariffs and you can't do anything. People sit there and say, okay, you're going to charge 10 million % tariffs. We ain't buying anything. The American people turned around and said, well, you want to cripple America and say that you're letting the president do tariffs? We're just not going to buy anything. If the Republicans turned around and said, I mean, what would happen if America turned around, right? And they went to the store and they're like this. And they're like this, right? And they're walking along. And then you see a guy and they're like this. Don't buy this toilet paper made in Mexico. The tariffs on the Mexican toilet paper was $6. Now it's $42. People would sit there, buy this toilet paper. All of a sudden they'd be buying the American-made toilet paper. We don't know where the wood pulp came from. Maybe they had to raise the import fees for that. It says, toilet paper made in America, wood pulp is France, right? So France may have a tariff. So eventually the American people are going to sit there and they're going to start their own system where they're going to basically walk around and check every item. And if it doesn't say where it's made, they may not buy it. And then all of a sudden you see the government sitting there saying the stock market's going down because it's collapsing. Because the American people are like, hey, Supreme Court said we have to pay tariffs. We're thumbing our nose going, meh, 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 meh. All of a sudden, what happens? The American people turn around and they say, absolutely not. We're not paying it. Then what happens? They turn around and they say, we're taking it hard. This could happen. It could be blue states could start basically cutting back to the point where the red states are going to sit there and say, we're not getting any money. Yeah. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow with tariffs. We're not going to happen until the tariffs get ruled out. We're not going to hear about that. And if they do, if the Democrats sit there and say, okay, we're putting the Supreme Court on notice, 2026, you pass everything Donald Trump wants, we're impeaching all 6 of you. And then, what if the American people in 12 months from now are worse off? They go to the polls and all of a sudden you got the House and Senate blue. American says, okay, we want our handouts. We want to get rid of the Supreme Court. We want to get rid of the entire cabinet of Donald Trump. Vote them all out. Then the people will be like, we gave you a mandate. Donald Trump thinks we have a mandate. We gave you a mandate. I mean, it could be twofold. They could turn around and do the same thing that the Republicans did. We have a mandate. But now all of a sudden, what does the president do? I'm gonna veto everything. Really? Then the Dems can turn around and say we have the House and Senate. He's doing this, and what happens? 2029 comes around to 2028. They say, hey, we've been fighting for you guys for 2 years. They wouldn't pass a bill for health care, but they want to give $2 trillion for military. So instead, the American people say, don't pass the military thing. All of a sudden, again, it's a blatant war. I mean, it's like an internal civil war without being a civil war. I mean, literally, the American people, they're fed up. A lot of them in 10 months, they're like, look, the people that didn't vote, you sit there and say, oh, I didn't vote, but I wouldn't vote for any of this. If you didn't vote, you don't get to open your damn pie hole and tell us you didn't vote. I mean, literally, it's like Jill says, I don't have any hope for California, nor do I. Well, I do have hope for a long video game tonight, and yeah. So, anyways, let's see what's going on in the poll. We're already 15 minutes in. Okay, so dude, I don't want the election in I didn't click on the box. Sorry, peeps. So, as polls closed, California voters were still standing in line. Yeah. So, apparently, I wonder why there's voting in long lines. Let's look at this. Redistricting rigged. Oh, so the president now speaks and says California's redistricting is rigged. Well, let's look at that. I do want to see it. Okay, so apparently 34% of the vote is in, and they're still complaining they didn't get. Well, yeah, long lines. That's because California's got 40 million people. I think they should have little things. So let's see here. Polls closed in California as they have gotten in line by 8 local time. The line on the Orange County registered voter reached from the front of the building to the street. Proposition 50 will pass, handing a Democrats and News on a win in redistricting arms race with Republicans. Wow. California redistricting attempts are rigged. His team hasn't offered any proof, really, so he's claiming rigged. Yeah, uh-huh. So apparently they're fact-checking the president, and they're saying that's a very tiny fraction is rigged in, like, federal elections, state elections. So apparently they're claiming it'll be passed. So apparently 7 minutes ago, South Asians dining at Mamdani's favored biryani spot. Cheer is projected to be the next New York mayor. Yeah, like Jill and the rest said, they have no hopes. So Chuck Schumer's like, I did not endorse Mamdani because, he's taking PAC's money, apparently 8 PACs or whatever, and so he's like, So then you got Mickey Sherrill. She's becoming the next governor, and you have all these other people. So apparently, yeah. Uh-huh. So it says Missouri, North Carolina, Virginia, Indiana, and Illinois are redrawing their map. So Illinois, they're blue, so they'll do blue. Virginia is now blue, so they'll do blue, and other states. So it's gonna be interesting to see who's gonna have the House in 2026. However, I think the American people, even if you redistrict and you have blue and stuff, I think if it keeps going down the way it is, it'll be voted. Um, so, President Trump blames the GOP losses on his government shutdown and his absence from the ballot. Trump wasn't on the ballot and shutdown were the two reasons the Republicans lost election tonight. Right. Tell you the real reason Trump lost the election tonight, because of his grand old party. Because apparently the American people are fed up. They're like, look, we're fed up. We're fed up. We want freebies. Yeah, and a lot of people sit there and they say to me, Rita, are you really serious? We want freebies? Yeah, think about it. My sister is right. I don't know about Jill and Reese, but think about it. Why would anyone want to vote Democrat? Handouts. Think about it. They sit there and they say, oh, well, we made a mistake. We voted for Donald Trump. Trump's destroying the economy. He's trying to be a king. He's trying to be a dictator. He's trying to do all this. We're going to vote for the other party because we want to put Donald Trump in his place and say, if you don't fix your attitude by 2026, it's going to be a blue tsunami, or as some call it, the blue bomber, like Mega Man. Mega Man's going to come out, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do, I mean, think about it. The blue bomber out of retirement. I mean, honestly, it's about the handouts. And a lot of people are like, literally. So apparently AOC is high-fiving and saying the takeaway from Mamdani's victory is leaning into the diverse working class right, really. Whereas, what was it Reese said? The state grocery stores will be out of business, or the New York City-owned grocery stores? Maybe. Literally, what is affordability? There is nothing about affordability. I'll tell you what it is. Affordability is not there. What affordability is the fact that the American people are looking for handouts. Yeah, think about it. Literally, they're voting because they want handouts. That's all it is. They're like, hey, dude, we want a handout. We really need our handout. Literally. Yeah. So my adopted brother says to me, if you're going to complain about sub sandwiches, fine. I got the numbers wrong, okay? I thought it was $49. It was $42, but still, okay? And then he says, well, I'm upset because you're drinking canned water. Canned water was free, my friend. You see, I didn't have to pay for it. The food bank was giving the sparkling water out at $2 a can. And they keep buying it. I don't know where they get it, but every time we go in to the food bank, they're always giving us 10 cans. So we get like half a case of water, right? Half a case of water, right? So technically, hey Trent, good to see you, brother. And so he's like, you're going on a tirade about 6 sandwiches. I'm going on a tirade that you spent $42 in sandwiches. $42 could have got you at least a week's worth of groceries, maybe more. $42. I could have got 2 cases of ramen, or sorry, not 2 cases, 10 cases of ramen. See, I'm more of an economics person. So what's up, Trent, brother? So what do you make of it, moderator Trent, and this whole thing tonight? Welcome to the channel tonight, Trent. Good to see I got a moderator active tonight. So what do you make of this? We got a blue wave in Virginia, a blue wave in New Jersey, and New York's governor's. And apparently, last time I checked, it was 62% Trent for Proposition 50. Now, I don't know about you, but it doesn't bode well, my friend, in my opinion. Now, it says here, let's see here, because I want to check this. And my adopted brother can go kiss a rubber monkey due to the fact that the water was free. Okay, so currently, Virginia governor is 95% called for the Virginia race, so we can't do much there. Then you have, sorry about that, don't want to slurp. New Jersey is 94%, so it's almost cleaned. New York City is only 90%. Cuomo's already conceded, so it's already a win-win. They're at 87% for the Supreme Court's and, Supreme Court's 90%. They keep getting the numbers wrong. And then Proposition 50 is at 57%. And apparently 2/3 of the state have voted, not including the people in the long lines in Orange County still waiting to get their ballots ran through. Yeah, so let's see what Trent says. I got a computer running over there so I can actually see if comments come in. So that helps me out a minute. So he says, people on SNAP need to go to food banks. Exactly, Trent. I mean, I have the food bank delivered to me like once a week, and that's why they bring me like 10 cans of water. And then my brother Ted's like, water you should have a food bank's giving it. See, I personally want to say for the record, if these are $2, it costs like $48 for 24, right? These are Solstice waters, right? Food banks should be putting it into food, not giving water. By the way, they also give like 5 tea bags and half gallon of milk, 6 eggs, usually pork chops. Lately, they ran out, so it's hot dogs or hamburgers. Yeah, so think about it. Food bank's getting really stingy too. And then they're like not telling us about if they're doing turkey this year. And by the way, since moderator Trent's here, he'll understand. A lot of people are worried about voting because, if the government doesn't reopen Trent, they're worried about their Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner being crappy. Now, I said it earlier in this video, Trent, that I have a feeling that the Republicans are either going to keep the government shut down now that they know the Democrats are in full give me handout mode, or they're going to wait for the Supreme Court to do something. I mean, literally, I said it last week in the last long videos I did that I think the government is, hold on a second, I gotta grab a couple ibuprofen. I think, that I said the government may reopen this week if the government turns around and sees how the election plays out. The election, in my opinion, didn't play out proper. And now, all these people are voting for handouts. That's what it was handouts. The LGBT community voted for their rights to be restored. The 42 million people that have food stamps, whether it be elderly, disabled, LGBT, they all voted for the handouts. Let's see. People on SNAP need to go to food banks. Yeah, exactly. I mean, literally. I think, my adopted brother's like, well, I got like $599 left on food stamps. I held out for savings for years, and yeah, I'm good. That's what my adopted brother said. Yeah, I think it was like $5.99 or something. I don't care what it is, but the thing is, they should, everyone who has an EBT card, in my opinion, it should be frozen. It should be frozen. And they should be going to the food bank. Yeah. I mean, literally, that's what I think. Instead, we're seeing too many people taking advantage of the So my adopted brother's like, the water wasn't free. I didn't say it was free. I said it was $2 a can that I looked up. I'm not going to argue with my brother. He's a crackpot at times. Someone had to pay for your EBT so you could buy 6 sub sandwiches at $7 each, which is $42 if you want to get technical. But point is I'm going to argue here, which I don't want to, but for the sake of the argument, I don't think the food bank should be giving the water away. That's what I think. But they do, because, well, some rich fuddy-duddy probably buys too much of it and thinks he'll donate it. Or who knows how it ends up the food bank. Same goes to the tea. But I will tell you, whatever they give me, I utilize. But for the sake of the arguments, I don't think sandwiches. He's arguing because he thinks EBT should cover sub sandwiches. I should do a poll. What do you think, Trent? Should EBT cover cold cut sandwiches? I say no, but everyone's a little different. See, I'm not arguing here. I'm just basically stating it. And I didn't have to pay for this, but the food bank shouldn't be giving it. If the food bank is getting government funds or donated funds, they shouldn't be spending $2 a can. That's what it comes on, unless these are cheaper. And if people keep buying these, and they're on discount because no one's buying them because of the price, then the food bank shouldn't be getting this. But eventually they'll run out of this. And I mean, a lot of people don't like sparkling water. I don't like the still water. They have like 2 types. They got sparkling water and still water. And I don't like the still water. Still water just like tastes like tap. Tastes like purified tap water in a can. I prefer bubbles myself, but for the sake of the argument, as I just said, to Trent, my moderator, and the rest of you, I do think that too many people are looking for handouts. And I do think some people shouldn't be bragging about EBT and sub sandwiches. I mean, when I get EBT, it's $24, and I put it towards ramen. So to me, it's fine and dandy. But for the rest of these people out there, they shouldn't be complaining about, the water or whatnot. But a lot of people do. So I'm hoping, everyone, that we get, so apparently he's now Mayor-elect Zoran. Yeah. The future is in our hands, he says. Right. I'm with my moderating team and with Jill and with Reese. I think the country is cooked. I mean, literally, unless we can find a way to contain it. So far, 59% of the vote is counted for Proposition 50. I know Chloe's doing a happy tooter dance, tooting that the Democrats finally won, and we may take back the House and Senate, which we could, but in my opinion, it's all just about handouts. We got another comment that just came in. Long one, too, by Jill. In some stores, people can use their EBT for DoorDash delivery. In California, certain stores like Ross accept EBT. I don't understand why I see people checking out 2 carts. There you go, Jill. There you go. That's like I said, I speak the truth. A lot of these people are voting for handouts. That's the truth. I mean, when my significant other was alive, the Prop 50 passed. Well, I guess they needed 60% of the vote to pass. I guess that's the new number, 60% to pass anything. So I guess we're going to communism. Communism is where the states take away everything, Trent, and they give it to the federal government or the government to control. You may think that. I mean, if you remember, Trent, it was Reese who was talking about earlier about in the comments. If you click on live chat, Reese was talking about government stores. That is communism. If the government runs communism. Now, we're not going communism because the thing is to go communism, you would have to give the powers to the federal government to communize it, which would mean that all stores would be government control, all farms would be government control, all factories would be government control, all companies like Tesla in this country would be communist. We'd all be running and driving Teslas. So communism is different from socialist. Socialistic is, like I said earlier, Trent, where you got food stamp recipients here. Then below it, you got Jill, who runs the grocery store, and Reese. They get the money. Then you got you, Trent, at the bottom of the pyramid, driving the trucks, delivering the food to the stores. So it's basically trickle-down economics for socialism. And anytime you get socialism, you're paying not just for a pool of things like healthcare. You're paying a pool. Say your healthcare is $300 a month. You pay into a pool for 2 years, and that pool pays for other people. And let's just say the entire healthcare industry pays. The healthy people, they pay less, but those people that don't need anything, they pay less. But the sick people, their healthcare is a little more, but you're paying for the sick people. So it's all pooled together in a giant swimming pool. Basically, it's how it works. So there's two differences. Remember, I studied communism and socialism. You have to know the difference. That's why it's called the United Soviet Socialist Republic. It was under the hammer and sickle communism, but there's two different versions of communism. There's communism under Karl Marx, and then there's socialism, which is everyone pays for everyone else through taxes and other crap. Which, again, Trent, just to be on the argumentative side, because I think I'm knowledgeable and educational to give you guys some input from my own opinion, that socialism is different from communism. Yeah, because communism, the entire states, the states wouldn't own anything. It'd be the federal government. So, no. I think what you're thinking of, we're going more socialistic, which means you pay more taxes, Trent, and you get less back. Why do you think my family is angry in Texas? They moved from a socialistic capital state like Oregon to a beautiful state like Texas where they don't have a lot of taxes. Yeah, pretty much. So let's see what he says here. He says, we're going communist, probably universal basic income. Exactly. There you go. Another problem, Trent. Let me just put it this way. So I was talking earlier, and Jill, Denise, and Reese were listening to me earlier, so let me explain it. So I was talking about Social Security, for example. You know how the Democrats are like, we're going to keep the government down until we get the health care restored. Yeah, but then they come up with this plan. Health care gets planned for 2 years, right? 2 years. Then what happens? 2 years later, they kick the can. They have to fix it again. And then 2 more years. And then 2 more years. Until they get the House and Senate, right? And then they pass full health care forever. That you, Trent, and you, Denise, and you, Reese, and me, we all have to pay for it. Same goes with these people. Why did they vote? They voted for various reasons. One is they saw the illegal immigration being rounded up and deported. I mean, when I was a roofer a long time ago, before my body gave out, Trent and Denny and Jill, we had where we did contracts, right? Bids. We got only probably 1/3 the bids. The Hispanics with the illegal team, they'd go in and tear off a roof, put on a new roof in 1 to 2 days. It would take us between 5 and 7 days if we were lucky on a big roof job. Yeah. So we can understand, but the thing is I'm not against these people. It's just, the thing is, the voters have voted to protect the illegals because most of the voters want handouts, and they want their, no offense, Trent and Jill and Reese, they don't want to work in the fields. I mean, you heard Brooke Rollins the other day, right? The Secretary of Agriculture. We're going to have 65, 85-year-old ladies working in the fields because we're getting rid of the illegals. Really? So you want my adopted grandma, who's 93, by the way, she's 93, working in the fields because you think 93 is fine. I'm sorry, but I think that's where you draw the line. But I agree with the UBI. And I mean, what I'm saying is, when I agree about UBI, Trent, is I agree that that's coming down the plan in the next 20 years is a UBI because they cannot support and the blue states, they'll give UBIs. They'll be like, hey, we'll give you $3,000 a month to live, maybe $4,000, free housing, free phone service, free food stamps, free farmers, food stamps, free lunch, free dinner, free breakfast, right? All you got to do is vote blue. Why do you think that these people turned around today? They voted blue because, A, they don't want to see the president rounding up illegals. 2, blowing up the East Wing. 3, going, I'm going to go after Venezuela, take their oil, get rid of the narco commies that do drugs or deliver drugs. I mean, the thing is the American people they voted for handouts. That's what my sister said. And I'm sorry to say it to all of you again, but that's the way it happened. And to me, well, you either join the train or you don't join the train. What's this say? AI taking over jobs. I'm pure dragon. Exactly. That's the other thing. Did you see the numbers, Mr. or Mrs. Dragon, about AI? Amazon wants to kick out like 600,000 jobs and make it mostly AI. What's next? The only ones doing the job, Dragon, is the drivers of Amazon. Everything else is automated. I mean, what happens to those 600,000 jobs? Not including the ones that are overseas and other Amazon factories in other parts of the world. I mean, even I heard Elon wants to basically hire mostly robots to build his cars. I mean, AI and stuff. I mean, AI, did anyone see the 3 AI farms? I mean, so apparently it goes like this. So Microsoft and Meta, right? Meta's building one like Louisiana, like a huge city, right? So in eastern Washington, in like the Richland area, they decided they want to build an AI farm out there, right? So this was in the Washington news recently, in Washington State. And it was all over. They want like up to a total of 12 or 16, like 960 megawatt nuclear reactors out in the middle of eastern Washington desert to power an AI farm. I'm sorry, but that much nuclear power, you got to remember, people, that if you do that, you got to dispose of the uranium rods. You can't just sit there and dig a hole and put it in 10,000 years in a concrete sarcophagus, I guess, in the ground with a sign that says "Do not open" for 10,000 years. Well, Jill was right. Apparently, California did pass it, so we'll check again because I'd like to see. Because currently I don't see anything, but apparently I will be posting a comment shortly. So again, it says right there, they're all projecting. They're projecting. They're like, we are projecting. Okay, so the votes in Virginia is still 95%, so I guess they're closing up in 22 minutes. New York, are they counting more ballots tomorrow? Because apparently they're at 90%. So 90% of the votes are in for the, or 92% for the Supreme Court in Pennsylvania. So it's all yes, retain them. And then right now it's showing that California has got 65% of the vote in, and everyone is So apparently Proposition 50 is, they haven't called it yet, but yeah, it looks like Prop 50 has passed. So anyways, there we go. So it kind of makes you wonder, people, what the future is going to hold. And frankly, there's too many handouts out there. And, you know, these people voted, and they voted. I'm not going to argue with my brother because my brother doesn't understand. He's just a complete Republican who wants to blame Democrats for everything. I blame both parties. My sister blames both parties. People don't want to blame only Democrats, don't want to open their eyes to the fact that both parties are idiots. Plain and simple. That is the truth of the matter here. So I'm not going to even argue with him on that because, frankly, I'm not arguing with the guy who claims that, I got to blame the Dems. No, I'm blaming both parties. As Sister Pee Wee once knows, you can't blame one party without blaming the other. Both are at risk. Literally. The Democrats are basically, in my opinion, playing with fire. They're literally turning around and saying, look, if we don't extend the health care benefits, millions will die. Well, that's what they say anyways. See, I'd like the real numbers, okay? Secondly, now they're saying, well, if you don't open the government, you don't get food stamps. I agree with that one. I really do. But to argue with my brother, I'm not arguing with him. I'm not going to even reply to him because, frankly, point is, he doesn't know what's going on. I know that the Democratic Party is just as much as the blame as the Republicans. If they can't come together like they used to keep the government open, they're both at fault. They don't want to bring it together. That's the thing. They literally said we can probably see. Here's the problem. Okay, my brother goes, oh well, you know, blame the Dems. No, I blame both parties. You see, the Democrats turn around and they don't want a clean resolution because they want health care. But now they're like, look, see, they're riding the blue wave, saying that if we don't get this fixed, you won't have food stamps and you won't have cash assistance and you won't have health care. Thing is before you go out and the Republicans say, well, you know, we can't do health care because there's too many freeloaders getting, illegals getting free health care, food stamps, Medicaid, cash assistance, Social Security. I want to see the numbers. Then I will make a decision. I'm not going to believe either party. Then you hear the Republicans say, well, if we give health care and we do this, we give that, we have to give free sex changes. I want to see the numbers. Again, I don't want to sit here and argue with my adopted brother who sits there and says, oh, well, we got to blame the... No, we blame both parties equally. I'm going to sit there and blame both parties equally. I'm not blaming one party. I'm blaming both. They can't come together like they used to make a deal. It's stalemate. President can make phone calls and say, I want you two lunkheads to get together, make a deal, and open the government. Said, what's he doing? He's golfing. He's like, oh, well, you know, because they... See, if they could keep the government shut down, as I hear from all these party people, then they could start axing programs, gutting programs, getting rid of programs. Yeah. So in my opinion, it is what it is. So there he goes again about the pyramid thing. You see, I can't remember everything, so I'm only human. So I'm not going to argue with him over the pyramid thing. I mean, look, every time food stamps get issued, it goes to people from various things. It basically trickles down no matter what. Okay, he wants to challenge me. You see, the point is, he's trying to get under my skin. The point is you get food stamps, you pay the stores. The stores pay the truckers go and pick it up from the farmers and manufacturers. The farmers make the food, okay? Whether it be in the manufacturers who make the box food and everything else. They want to get rid of food stamps to give you a food box. They'd be sit there. I bet if everyone had a food box once a month with a week's worth of food, you'd be all happy. Oh, look, I got a food box. Instead of getting $200, $300 a month, you'd be happy with a little food box. Because why? Because the American people are sitting there saying, look, the voters are tired. And I can't remember all the steps. I mean, look. The bottom line is there's too many freeloaders out there, and I'm going to argue for a second here, and I want you guys to listen carefully. There's too many freeloaders out there that are freeloading off the American people for free money. That's why they voted. You sit there and they're like, oh, well, you know, I'm going to blame the Democrats for it. Blame both parties. That's the thing. Both parties. I personally don't like to see... they're putting in work restrictions. You know, I heard the other day they want to put in work restrictions up to 65 or 70 for food stamps. So if you're basically disabled, they want it to, Project 2025 wants to take away those restrictions. If you're disabled, you can still work. If you can't volunteer 20 hours a week, even if your back hurts, then you don't get to eat. My sister was saying the same damn thing the other day. It's like all these people that think that they're entitled. Oh, I worked for 40 years. I need my food stamps and Social Security disability. Point is you're not entitled. That's the thing. You're not entitled because the government says you're not entitled. Government's turning around and saying, look, we're going bankrupt with all the handouts. And yet all these people are arguing. Why do you think the American people turned around and voted tonight? Tell you what, handouts. They're like, well, if the government stays shut down and we lose our house, we're going to blame it on the Republicans because they won't come together to give us our health care. Is it that? I mean, look, my sister is completely right. Health care was temporary. The Obama extensions were temporary, but all these people said, well, they found a way to gut the Affordable Care Act. And then, cheers. Affordable Care Act gets gutted. And then they turn around and they're like, well, we may be able to give 50% food stamps, but it's only for people with kids. Then you hear people, oh, well, what about the elderly? They'll go hungry. The elderly can go without just a little bit while we fix the damn government problem. You see, there's too many people out there worried about the elderly. The elderly say, oh, well, the whippersnappers at 12 years old should work. Or the parents should have 3 jobs. The job market is not there. Literally, the job market isn't there. I mean, look, you got McDonald's trying to offer deals. Dairy Queen, Big Mac, fine. Fast food in general, because I know if I just say certain stores, my brother will be like, oh, just use the big clause of fast food. Fast food. Okay, fast food's always doing. I was at a Red Robin the other day. They had a special, excuse me. The special was $9.99 for a burger, a soda, and unlimited fries. Most people got that because that's all they could afford. And the guy, he was working his butt off trying to get everyone refilling fries. Me, I give him a decent tip. He was more appreciative than me. But I also got me an unlimited milkshake or Coke float. I don't like root beer floats. Coke float, yeah. So unlimited, I was happy. Yeah. And he got his tip. He got a decent tip. The thing was, I just wanted an extra, like little dessert. But you see the point? Point is you got to cut corners. And a lot of people, they're looking for the handouts, yeah? They're looking for the handouts. And that's why they voted. I mean, when will people learn? I mean, look, are we going communist? No. Are we going socialist? Yes. There's a difference between communist and socialist. Fortunately, the American people need to realize that right now the American voters are pissed. They're pissed because they see the White House, the people's house, blown up. They see a guy making so many bad deals. And my adopted brother, oh, well, I'd rather pay $900 extra in computer parts and pay the taxes and tariffs so I can have a brand new computer when the time comes where I could build my own computer. Even if the tariffs are $900, I'd rather pay that. And then, because there's a lot of Americans out there that won't pay the tariffs, even if they raise the prices on product. They'd rather basically do this blackout from November 25th to December 2nd, which means they want a complete no jobs economy blackout for whatever reason. Yeah. I mean, literally. And I agree with Dragon. I mean, AI is taking over. Did you hear about the guy that tested AI out at a Taco Bell? Oh God, that was funny. So guy goes in there and the AI's running things, right? And they said, the AI says, what can I get for you? Welcome to Taco Bell. What can I get to you? And the guy says, I want 18,000 large waters. But Taco Bell decided after that little stunt, apparently they're not going to allow AI to run things. If you ask for 18,000 waters, you got a problem. I know it's kind of a semi-prank, but still, you see the point, right? Anyways, with it almost being this time, let's check the news cycle again because, So apparently, let's see. I'd like to know what this man Danny. He says something. Well, what did he say about the Let's see about outline for New Age in New York. Tonight we stepped out from the old into the new. Told a sea of supporters tonight, Brooklyn. So let us speak now with clarity and conviction that cannot be misunderstood about what the New Age will deliver and for whom. Went on to say that this era would deliver for New Yorkers a bold vision of excuses. Central to that vision will be a most ambitious agenda to tackle the cost of living crisis, Mende made the affordability central to his campaign and reiterated that tonight his plans include freezing the rent. Okay, freezing rent pricing because apparently New York City is too expensive. Making city buses free and universal child care. Universal child care. How is he going to make buses free and universal child care? Tells President Obama, turn the volume up. Mamdani vowed to usher in a generation of change, rejecting the president's politics. Well, so then he basically speaks in Arabic too. Yeah, probably something about the Quran, I bet. But anyways, hope is alive with his projected New York mayoral race. So now all these Democrats think they have a vote of confidence. Is there anything else that we can actually look up? Okay, so apparently it's the Supreme Court's almost voted, and all right. So currently, by 54 minutes in, California stopped. This was done 1 minute ago. They're still counting the votes. And apparently it's still stuck at 64%. So I guess they all went home or they're on a lunch break. Or did they stop counting the votes in California for proposition? Because, I mean, if it's at 64.6% and only 35.4% voted no, then there's something wrong in my opinion. Because, you know, I have to agree with Sister Pee-wee on that. Something's not right with those numbers. But what do I know? I'm not a Californian. I mean, I don't even know what happened with that proposition I voted for today. Proposition whatever, Washington. So the proposition on the ballot, here we go, ballot top area. Okay, let's see what's on the ballot here. So let's see. This one is... Okay, so was this in 2025? Yeah, okay, Washington ballot measures. Doesn't say. That's the thing. I hate when they do this. You try to basically look up something and it doesn't tell you what's going on with that ballot measure that got shot down in, you know, no, yeah, yeah, so, I don't know. I don't care. I just don't think higher taxes for the American people work. You know that? That's the real problem here. People come to me and they say, so you're a registered Republican. I got to check the comments again. You're a registered Republican, and yet you don't believe in higher taxes for people. Yeah, I know. Because the people that live in the community, they shouldn't see higher taxes. That just drives people out. And to me, to force someone to do something stupid like, what do you call it? You know, raising taxes. I don't think raising taxes does a damn good. A lot of people say, well, we're starting to get the mandate that we get for 2026. We'll raise the taxes on the billionaires. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, to me, I don't think it's right that the people with the handouts are just sitting there going, we voted because we don't have food stamps. Really? Well, what did the Supreme Court vote? So you got to pay higher tariffs because they think that's what should be right to punish you guys. You liberals. I don't know. I mean, I'm furious myself. Send anything into sentient and they'll hit cancel and ignore. They'll weep, they'll be devastated. Sir Galahad. Send anything into sentient and they'll hit cancel and ignore. Sentient. Is that like a new AI or something? Mr. Or Sir Galahad? Yeah, I hope I pronounced that. Sentient? What's that? Send it to sentient. Or is that the decision you think that AI will do? Because frankly, right now, I'm thinking that, you know, Well, yeah, what did, yep, so apparently, let me, check something real quick. Anyways, so, yep, that's all it says. That's all she wrote, you know, I think. I mean, literally, in my opinion, we're still counting the ballots, but you know, we're almost done unless you want to basically look for California, and most people don't care about Alaska, which will end in 2 minutes. Alaska ballots will start to be counted, but I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. Yeah. Anyways, all these people, I mean, literally, I just can't believe they're still not counting all the votes. It's like 96% for that, and it's like, you know, 96%, and yet all these people are now, you know, the Republicans are just bowing out. You know, and the president's like, oh, well, they're bad actors. Really? They're bad actors? I thought the Republican Party would have been pretty dang good. Instead, what do we got? We got, I don't know. I just don't know anymore. I really don't. Yeah, I just don't know. Universal basic income, yeah, Trent, I agree. I mean, let me see. I just don't understand, people, what's going on in the world, you know? I mean, there's too many people out there demanding handouts, and they'd rather, you know, I mean, we're going to be seeing, I think, maybe Trent's right. Maybe I need to pull out and dust up my book on communism. Or maybe it's socialism. I mean, you know how they say it. You'll have nothing and be happy. Yeah, Biden used to say that. Anyways, I better. I mean, I wish you guys in the comments would say more than a few words that New York's cooked, or, you know, tell me how you truly feel, people. I mean, the guy with the sentient thing, that didn't make sense. The guy, you know, Sir Galland said something. They keep the devastated. Yeah, yeah, and then, you know, you got Dragon says AI will take the jobs. AI is going to do more than that. I mean, you heard Bill Gates. Eventually, doctors will be replaced by AI too. I mean, how would that be? AI gets. See, if AI took over for everything, you wouldn't even have to pay for the doctor's visit. What do you pay? 50 cents for the AI to diagnose you? The future is AI. 97X, the future is AI. The Rain Man, you know, 97X, the future is rock and roll. 97X, the future is AI. I don't know anymore, people. I really don't. So, anyways, well, that's all she wrote, my friends. We'll know in the morning how it plays out. Let's just say before we go, do you any of you think they're gonna contest these elections, or do you think they're just gonna accept it? Contesting it may cause what, civil war? Do you think after this, do you think government's gonna open up? I don't know anymore. I mean, the government's got to basically think, holy crap, we didn't think we would lose Virginia, New Jersey, the city of New York, and Proposition. I mean, literally, you heard what happened. I mean, you know what? I may just drink the other water anyways and use the restroom, because I got something more to say before I log off here, because so here's something I want to say before I go get a water, okay? The last water in my fridge. You see all these people, right? You got these guys, and they're sitting there, you know, it's like these billionaires, and they're like, well, we can't allow the Republican Party to let the Democrats win, right? And redistrict California, right? This is what happened, right? So the guy spends like $20 billion, or sorry, 20 million, 30 million, 50 million, whatever. They all these billionaires pull their money together and they plunk it in and they say, okay, even what's his name? Former Speaker McCarthy, Kevin McCarthy, like him, right? He's like, we can't allow this to happen, right? And then he says, well, even if it passes the ballot, we have to literally take it to the courts, right? Courts already said it's legal, right? Well, if the courts in California say it's legal, and then the Supreme Court says it isn't illegal, then how is it legal if Texas does it, or Missouri, or Indiana, or whatever other, as they call it, redneck killjack state does it? Think about it. Think about that for a minute. I mean, literally, these billionaires dump their money in it trying to stop it, which should have. Instead, it passes because there's too many people in the American country that literally, they turn around and they're pissed. I mean, look at my adopted brother. He'd be like, well, we should have spent $20 trillion to stop it. Really? So, let me tell you what the problem is, okay? He says to me, you know, the whole trickle down, why don't we just cut food stamps out altogether? Cut out the government food stamp program, the government phone program, put all that money, as I said, a year ago, or 8 months ago, 9 months ago, into the coffers and get people to buy their own phones and their own foods, and then we don't need food stamps. And then got the useless Medicaid program, which you have to get pre-approved for everything and everything else. Why don't we just gut all this to save a buck, right? Yeah. The thing is, you can't do that, but you got these people that sit there and say, but, you know, I'm entitled. No, I'm not here to argue with my adopted brother. No, what I'm saying literally is these people dump billions or millions of dollars lobbying, that's what we're going to have, millions of dollars to lobby for the Republicans, and then the Republicans turn around. Actually, I want to see what he actually said, because he's all, you can't blame the the Republicans. Your pyramid description keeps skipping over truck drivers. Actually, I did say the truck drivers. I said as soon as the food stores basically get their money, they have to pay the truck drivers that bring it in. But I forgot about the farmers. So you can't basically sit there and keep wagging your fingers about me basically making a mistake because I made a mistake. How many times did I say I made a mistake? All right. Now, the billionaires pay millions of dollars out of the drop of the bucket, people. And they turn around and Oh, okay. Yeah. So they turn around and they dump all this money into it, and it doesn't work. Now let me get my last water, because I'm going to tell you why it didn't work while I run out real quick to get the water. It goes like this. The American people turned around and they see all these people, these what you call liberals, voting for no kings. They think they've been brainwashed. Donald Trump's king. Donald Trump's a dictator. Donald Trump's going to take away their Social Security. Donald Trump's going to take away their food stamps. Well, right now, apparently he has. But he's got legitimate reasons. The government shut down. You can't pay for something you can't do. Then all these liberals turn around and they say, well, you know, USAID was taken away and the Consumer Finance Board and all these people. And then you got the Democrat senators and Republicans fighting him tooth and nail. Then you got the courts trying to hold them together and keep the off-ramp going. And yet you got all these people saying, well, Project 2025 is being invested. Half of it's already implemented. And we need a Democrat to fix all this. And then a Democrat to, you know, keep the free money coming along. And you know what? Trent's right. Jill's right. Dragon's right. And Risa's right. Think about it. Dragon's right because the government it wants to replace AI as the main thing. AI can't pick farms unless you have an AI robot like my adopted brother Ted running around, and if they put his brain into a giant harvester and he's like, Oh, look at me! I'm now a giant harvester, harvesting crops for freeloaders. See, I had to throw that in there because But the thing is, get what I'm saying? So the thing is there. You guys are. I mean, think about it. I mean, literally. The only thing holding this country together is, and But then you see these people. They say, well, Donald Trump says something like Americans hate the blue people hate America. The Democrats hate the redneck goons because the redneck goons speak the truth about how they have to work their butt off and everyone else gets a handout. I mean, look at it. I mean, if you look at the numbers tonight's election in the states, the LGBTQIA, they voted. They're like, you're not taking away our same-sex marriages, which the Supreme Court can still say no same-sex marriage. They say you're not taking away our sex changes. Supreme Court can say we're taking away sex changes. Supreme Court can say we're taking away your ability to be male or female on your passports or whatever. And these people are saying, look, you got 75 or 30 million or 50 million redneck goonbuzz turning around, goonballs as I call it, turning it around. And I call myself a goonball too, by the way. So just they're saying, look, I mean, you got all these people turning around and they're like, look, we're being challenged unfairly. I mean, look at my adopted brother. Made a joke, a semi-joke, because, to me, if you're going to be spending food stamp money, you basically buy stuff you can prepare at home. You don't bring in I'm going to correct it, 6 sub sandwiches on the taxpayer's dime. You don't see me going into Walmart. I may have to try that anyways next time I'm there, just to be funny. But usually I use my debit card and I buy something. But, I had a... thing is they don't take EBT. I mean, if it's a cold cut, maybe Subway should take it, But thing is, people would be like, well, why should Subway take your EBT card? Well, it was just a thought. If they're allowing cold cut turkey sandwiches from Walmart to be used to buy cold cut sandwiches, then why not do it the other way, Well, there you go. CNN just projected the prove a Proposition 50. So unless Donald Trump's got something to, send a message to Trump Newsom says, I'd like to see the message. I would love to see the message. Democratic Party is in ascendancy after candidates swept key races in several states today, including passing a ballot measure that allows California to redraw its congressional maps. But it was not just a victory tonight for the Democratic Party. Was a victory for the United States of America, for the people of this country, and the principle our founding fathers lived and died for. Or for handouts. Give a thumbs up on the handouts. Newsom said the election results sent a powerful message to President Donald Trump, who he described the most historically unpopular president in modern history. Wow. Isn't that something? So, I guess I can close my tabs now because apparently they're all tooting their horns about Proposition, it's like, what's her name? Jill Denise said. It looks like we all are going to see the United States be cooked from within. Now, how will we get out of it? I don't know. By the way, it says right there 65% of the votes are in California. So, I don't know how that's going to play out, but makes you wonder, right? So, let me just get the water and it'll be done. One last water. least I'm staying hydrated while talking. And it's not alcohol, so it's all good anyways. Right, peeps? So, last can, and then I'm done for the night for you guys. So, basically, the Republican Party has lost this round. A lot of people thought they would win. Unfortunately, I didn't expect it to go this way. I really didn't. I expected it to go differently. I also expected the, But I will tell you, for the argument's sake, now we just got to wonder if the Democrats are going to start leveraging what they have now that they won. Because I told you, if the Democrats lost tonight, the Democrats may just reopen the government willy-nilly. But now that the Democrats won, they may try to use some of their leveraging capital to say the American people have voted, give them their health care. But I think personally, playing health care every 2 years with the Obama thing and repealing things, I mean, the president could basically veto it and basically shut the government down. So then what happens? What does my adopted brother say when the Republicans and Democrats come together and all of a sudden they make a deal where you get 2 years of health care added to the extension, dissolving half of the big, beautiful, ugly bill, hypothetically, extending and restoring food stamps and other programs, and all of a sudden Donald Trump says, I'm vetoing it. And all of a sudden the government stays shut down because he's vetoing. Then they got to pass it again, and then eventually it becomes law. But the thing is how does that work? How does it literally work? Think about it. How does it actually work? Think about it. The people voted. They voted for handouts. They voted for freeloads. They voted to now 2026 may be the year of civil war, maybe. I mean, that's why we prep. But honestly, I didn't expect it to go this way. But the American people, the ones that voted this time around, they made a statement. Next few days, we'll probably turn around and hear someone say something like, the Republicans all stayed home because they didn't think they needed to worry. Yeah. And then my adopted brother will be like, we have to worry because the Republicans won. Well, maybe, but still, my point is I don't like how the news cycle is. Major elections have been swept. I mean, there isn't a major election? Yes. Is it really a big election? No. But this may just basically keep fueling the fire. But now we have to see how this plays out in the next 12 months. So, now we get to see what happens in the next 12 months for election 2026. Will we be alive then? I hope so. Will it be glorious? I hope so. Will it be grand? I hope so. Will we take back and keep our House and Senate? I hope so. But the way things are looking, here's the question that a lot of people have asked me. I know my brother Ted would be like, oh, well, the Democrats are going to lose. It's going to be a massive red tsunami after tonight. That's if Donald Trump keeps doing what he's doing, big brother. If Donald Trump keeps doing what he's doing, he's pissing off the blue states and the blue Democrats. The blue Democrats might just start jumping in and buying steamrollers and steamrolling every Republican like myself and you and steamrolling us to make a point. Next thing you know, they're saying, we're not giving up our handouts. We're not giving up our food banks. We're not giving up our subsidized food stamps, by the way. A lot of these Democrats that are hurting, they're voting because they're voting for the handouts. That's including LIHEAP, the Low Income Housing Assistant Energy Assistance Program. Yeah, pretty much. The free the bonus electric. My neighbor was like, once the government opens, I gotta apply for it right away. I mean, literally, my bill was so high because I have new electric heaters. Think about it. There's too many people out there, elderly, disabled. I mean, my adopted brother's right. He's literally right in some things, okay? Like, someone's got to pay for him. Now, he does. So, here's how it works, okay? You got all these people that want handouts, right? And they voted tonight. They're like, we're going to get our handouts back, right? They're voting. They're like, we're tired of the Republicans telling us we can't have it. So, they vote in droves, right? Let's just say the Democrats go back in 2026. They do it. And they crush the Republicans. And then all this crap happens. And then we got to fix it with the Democratic president in 2028, when the election's coming in. Guess what? Fine and dandy, but they may pass all these laws to force and fix everything, and then the American people will sit there and say, yeah, see, once they get into power again, they're going to restructure the entire House and stuff to basically make it so that no one like Donald Trump can ever run again, and they will strip all the powers that they claim the founding fathers will want to strip. So to me, think about it from the Republican side of things. Republicans didn't expect it. They thought these people are subservient robots that are going to vote, because they can't win. But a lot of them maybe stayed home. Other ones are doing other things. But the thing is, in the end of the day, a lot of things are like, well, they're like, well, ICE has got all this money. Well, and ICE is doing this, and ICE is doing ICE raids, and we're not tolerating. So all these people are seeing all this on videos. What happens? They go in and they push, and lo and behold, they're pushing back. They're like, we're not having this in our country. But at the same time, my brother, he makes a good point. Who's paying for this? I mean, like you said, food bank's paying for something. Food bank also takes a lot of donations. For all we know, the water was donated. But for the sake of the argument, I like my water, by the way. For the sake of this quote unquote quick argument, the good Lord. The thing is my adopted brother is right. Someone has to pay for these goodies, and if you don't pay for it, then it's, the point is, he's making a complete point there. Someone has to pay for it. Unfortunately, most of these American people, they don't want to pay for it. That's the truth. They sit there and they are like, the food stamps or the food banks, right? They literally are getting ready to steamroll it's basically, what's happening is you got the Republicans turning around and saying, we don't want sex changes. We don't want LGBTQ. We don't want handouts. We don't want this. We don't want that. Blue state says, well, blue states are being empowered to vote, right? And what happens? They turn around and say, we don't want redneck goonbus telling us what to do. And they steamroll, right? And they say, okay, we got a thing. Now the Democrats can turn around and make a new message. And then all of a sudden, the next election cycle, the big election cycle, they may just sit there and say, well, but, you got the Republicans going, oh, well, we'll gerrymander and we'll do this, we'll do that, and do this. Problem is, you can gerrymander all you damn well please, but if you got a Democrat sitting in there and they're like this, so if you vote for this Republican craphead and you don't give me a chance, then what happens, right? So what happens? The American people turn around and in the next 12 months, they see more crap happening, and you got more Democrats picking up the torch and saying, I will replace Moses Mike Johnson. They call him Grinder, apparently, whatever. I don't know why. Anyways, maybe it's because of the American Grinder sandwich. Anyways, so they talk about it, right? They're like, and then they call J.D. Vance Little Smokey. Some people call him Little Smokey, right? Anyways, the point I'm making is they could turn around and they say, oh, well, our seats are protected, but they're not. The American people can turn around and say, your seat's not protected. You're voting to protect Epstein, hypothetically. You're voting to take away food stamps, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, whatever, right? They could basically sit there and play dirty. Democrats play dirty too. All of a sudden, all these people go out and vote in 26. They're like, look, the Democrats has got a new message. They're on. They're for us. Republicans sit there and say, oh, well, we can't keep our seats. And all of a sudden, the Democrats steamroll the Republicans. And then, for example, they sit there and they say, what went wrong? Simple. you underestimated the Democratic Party, who basically sitting there saying, look, you're basically turning around and saying, we're going to deport 100 million illegals, hypothetically, and we're going to put elderly grandma, 95 years old, working the cotton field because someone said that they're going to do that. All of a sudden, you have all this information out there. What happens? They can't contain it. They can't win. All of a sudden, they lose. And then they sit there and say, well, we can win in the national election in 2 years, right? Then, all of a sudden what happens? Hypothetically, Democrats come up with a new plan, new goal plan, saying, okay, here's what we're going to do. Republicans are the minority. Republicans say we're not budging. President sitting there going, I'll veto everything, and he does. Next thing you know, 2028 elections again, 2-year cycle, everyone gives up. Democrats win again. This time they may take more seats because the do-nothing Republicans didn't do anything. They're just sitting there going, oh, yeah, our party's the greatest. You're trying to make us communists. All of a sudden, what happens? It's like I said to Reese and Jill and Trent. The American people vote in a Democratic president. Let's just say it's Newsom, right? What did they do? They voted for the handouts. They know their handouts are secured. Then all of a sudden you see the entire country collapsing because they voted for handouts. But who's going to pay for the handouts, right? And then, on top of that, in 2029, Social Security will be running out 5 years. And maybe Gavin will get 2 terms. But in the meantime, who's going to fix it? They're going to raise more taxes to cover this. It's like tax and tax and tax. Why do you think when I voted in today's election, no higher taxes? I voted for two measurements on the ballot. Rejected. No higher taxes. Unless they're going to tell me, the one wording was qualified elderly and disabled people. Qualified. So you got to be a specialty in a special group to get qualified for this program. Sorry, but that doesn't fly with me. Rejected. When people see the ballot measure where they're trying to do things, it's rejected. Plain and simple, people. The taxpayers need to know what they're voting on. I, for one, I want to see what we're voting on. Plain and simple. And, I reject anything that's higher taxes. I reject things that is higher taxes. Literally. It's like my adopted brother said once, something about on the ballot once with him in his state. They wanted to reject and get rid of property taxes, right? Something about property tax, right? Do you think that the people that will reject property taxes, if you reject property taxes, you're rejecting taxes for fire and police? Might as well just say you have to pay higher premiums for your house insurance because you wanted no property tax, and that means it doesn't cover your library, your schools, your fire department, your police. I know he would be like, well, I don't care. Well, that's your opinion, okay? But someone's got to pay all this. Personally, I think, even if you look all the way back to Jesus' time and before, every country back in the day, way, way in the beginning of time, when they came up with the idea of paying taxes, it's there. Even the Bible says pay your taxes. It's like, go to and pay. Jesus commanded Peter to go pull up a fish, and the first fish he opens will have a coin in it to pay him and Jesus temple tax or prayer tax or whatever it was. Think about it. If that was in the New Testament, then you dang well people should basically think. Literally think about it. When people sit there and complain about paying their federal taxes, then what happens when you don't have federal taxes? What if they just gutted federal taxes, IRS taxes? Who's going to pay for wars? Who's going to pay for Social Security if you gut it? Who's going to pay for the elderly's medical and Medicare? You think everyone should just basically have a nest egg, and if it runs out, you're under a bridge the rest of your life? Hell, that'd be fine. Sorry, brother, your money ran out. You can go live under a bridge right now for the next 20 years because the money ran out. Your own personal money ran out. I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of him, okay? I'm just saying the logistics ain't there. These people came up with all these ideas, they implemented it, and now too many people rely on it. And if they didn't rely on it, we wouldn't be in this mess. But guess what? You take away food stamps, you get steamrolled. You take away health care, you get steamrolled. I don't think they're going to try to take away Social Security. I think they're just going to let Social Security run out of money. And then, as Trent said, UBIs come about. Universal Basic Income. You're right on the money, Trent. So, you guys, you know how it works. It's not easy and it ain't pretty. But, the funny thing is this election cycle, it's a real doozy. It is a real doozy, and I'm proud to be with you guys to say I think the United States of America is freaking cooked. Literally. There's too many people out there that voted for the handouts, as my sister said, and we're all freaking screwed. I mean, literally. I thought America was a better system right now. I mean, I have friends that I think are Republican that think that why should the blue states be paying for red states? I don't know. The blue states should be paying for Washington State should be paying for Washington State only. California should be paying for California. No, that's her opinion, you know. Oh, there he goes again. He can't stop poking the bear when it comes to his damn sandwich purchase. There he goes again. He's like, by the way, my mom bought 2 sub sandwiches. Well, that's fine. Your mom probably doesn't have EBT. I heard my adopted brother's mom's wealthy, so that's fine. She probably used her debit card and bought it. You know, the thing is I'm fine with the mother doing it. The thing is $42 in sandwiches. I mean, what do you use for? I mean, my only gripe is, okay, $42 in sandwiches. I would have used it for other issues, like milk, other foods. I mean, Chloe went out and bought some stuff for her food stamps the other day. She bought hamburger and made hamburgers last night. And no, I didn't eat any of it. I had my meatloaf, which wasn't that good from the store. Yeah, I was telling my adopted brother had meatloaf last night. He's like, oh, yeah, big old piece of meat. No, actually, it was Stouffer's meatloaf, and it didn't taste that good. I don't know. I'd rather have. I had a banquet mega bowl tonight. It was pretty good. I mean, it was like $4, but you know what? That's $4. So say I needed 10 mega meals. That's $4 each. That's $40. Add $2 more to $42, and you can get 11. So I'd get 11 dinners out of $44, right? My brother, 7 sandwiches. Probably eating 1 for breakfast, 1 for lunch, 1 for dinner. 1 for breakfast, 1 for lunch, 1 for dinner. Then he's emptied. I don't think you can keep a Walmart deli sandwich that long. Longer than a week, unless he's freezing them. I don't know how that is. If there's a lettuce on it, I would not want frozen lettuce and mayonnaise on a sandwich. But then again, my brother is a unique character. He'd probably freeze them all if he could, or he probably did it for a different reason. I don't know. But I'm not arguing with him on the sandwiches. I won't. I'm just saying, for me, I'm always looking for affordability and, etc. Anyways, people, elections are over. They're still counting California. Alaska's closed. And approximately in 2 hours and 28 minutes in midnight Pacific Standard Time, or let's just say an hour and a half, give or take, Hawaii will probably be closed for the night. Not that Hawaii is a big number right now anyway, so anywho, there you go. Please add and subscribe. Please post comments. Please leave feedback, suggestions. Hit the like, subscribe button. Holds fun for your family, including your dogs, your cats, your bunnies, service dogs, service bunnies. The bell notification, thumbs up button if you like my content. Hit that bell notification and you want to donate, you can donate gift cards to me. Walmart, Amazon, eBay, at San Juan Island Prepper at AOL.com or San Juan Island Prepper at Yahoo.com. Thank you, everyone, and God bless you in everything you do. Peace, love, dove, and we'll see you